Welcome one, welcome all. We are here for the CCA Circuit Qualifier number 3 here over at IPL. Of course, we have our other stream over at CCA Main. My name is Rocket, and joining me is the one and only Sofa King. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Rocket. Let me tell you, when Neptune DM'd me and said that I'd be commentating with Rocket, my eyes did like the cartoon Awooga sound effect. And I was like, yeah, that's another one off the bucket list, baby, being able to commentate with Rocket. But let's talk about this exciting day, folks. This is the final qualifier for split number 1. In just a few hours, Rocket, the first 6 teams from each division are going to be punching their early tickets to the circuit finals on December 6th and 7th. That's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. And before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's kind of focus in on who we're going to be looking at first. Remember, we are starting with Swiss brackets. Of course, we'll be moving on to the laters here shortly. But taking a look at things, we're going to start off with Division 5 Swiss in Group B, looking at Splat Devils versus D-Sliders.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one because these folks are both kind of in that realm where they're not quite at top 6 and they're trying to make that final push. Today, that is where that starts here in the first match on Splat Zone's Roborama.
Let's see what we will have in store for us. Interesting comp coming out from the Splat Devils. No true backline. Same story on the other side. Neither team running a true backline, and more importantly, no coolers are in sight, but both sides running double tri-strikes on their weapons.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, right? With the 0 coolers, it means that every movement, every pick is going to be extremely important. You see one member of D-Siders getting isolated along the side is going to cause a trade there. Nucci trying to roll back into mid with tri-strikes. The early control, though, going to D-Siders.
Yeah, Kraken Punk, real nice hammer, almost catches another on the backhand, but with D-Sliders being stuck near this elbow position, it puts them in a rough area to try to retake. You have Golden Pine being taken out by Blizzard, a really front-forward weapon that is in their hands, that Octobrush, looking for these opportunities to open the doors for Splat Devils to continue to move forward. But here come D-Sliders on the left side, coming out with this Booyah Bomb, but with 3 going down, their retake will be thwarted.
Oh yeah, and they're not going to have too many more chances, Rocket. As you see, the tri-strikes coming out cannot neutralize or cannot flip that zone right away, and now we're stuck in another fight in neutral. You do see another set of strikes coming out from D-Siders. What are your thoughts on doing multi-strikes in zone? Has it worked out for them so far?
You just need to coordinate going in with those strikes. That's been the major issue just because of how well Splat Devils has been able to disorientate them. You have Blizzard doing just that, going in, getting Gold Pine, shredding this Booyah Bomb as well, at least putting some pressure on it. A nice hammer throw from the side from Kraken Punk will lead to a 3-player down situation, and with the 4th coming from Blizzard, a delayed wipeout, and they are still going in, suffocating, being a major problem in the side of D-Siders.
Yeah, you can load up on all the inking specials that you can handle, but Splat Devils are the ones who are executing these plays, right? Getting the trades when it matters, winning the fights when it matters, and that is why they still maintain control here. Brostrider loading up some more strikes on this zone are countered by the strikes on Splat Devils, and again, isolated is Brostrider. It seems like the Splat Devils are doing a great job of spacing these members out.
Yeah, and I keep saying their name, Blizzard, getting the last one, cleaning things up. Although D-Siders were able to control the zone for a little bit just to slow the bleeding a little bit, the Splat Devils have pretty much controlled this game from start to where we are right now. Brostrider almost has their strikes available, the Booyah Bomb coming out, and here come all the specials from D-Siders. Finally, getting the most amount of paint into the zone we've seen from them all match, showing that little bit of life, and they still have Gold Pine's Trip Strike. They'll be going out on this elbow position, potentially opening the door for D-Siders to get a little bit more comfortable.
And look at this, once you hand them an advantage state, that ink efficiency is going to help them. As we see blue everywhere, the D-Siders are now looking to maintain this advantage state. We see the Brush Blizzard drop along the left-hand side. 2 members will go down for D-Siders, so it looks as though their push may be coming to a close pretty soon here. 3 go down as Splat Devils, that's a long wipe, is going to retake the zone. They've still got about a 29-point.
Yeah, this is what you typically see in zones, kind of the tug-of-war match you will have between one side dumping a lot of their specials, 1 or 2 specials to go in, and the other side countering on their retake. Kraken Punk with the hammer hits home, finding one onto Golden Pine, trying to be that nuisance in the side of D-siders. Yet again, the strengths that we've seen from Splat Devils has been just their ability to move in, taking so much space in a short amount of time and forcing out these specials more importantly. But with 10 ticks left, D-siders need to go in with this Booyah Bomb. The space that has been created, the Trip Strikes are available, but will they come out in time? It won't, as D-siders not able to save the zone as Splat Devils take a very nice game 1.
Yeah, that was impressive. And both teams are running these double tri-strike comps, right? But I felt that Splat Devils was doing so in a bit more of a nuanced way, in the sense that towards the end there, you saw, hey, they're not always just kind of diving into zone and using them in an isolated way. You saw this tri-strikes being used at the end there to enable the mini and the brush to continue just pounding in at the opposing base there, which let them sustain all the way to that knockout rocket. So I think if they can continue using their specials to enable their teammates, they're going to run away with this one for sure.
Yeah, the key detail I want to mention, Sofa, was it seems like when Splat Devils used their specials, now we saw a multitude of specials being thrown from both sides a lot. It seemed like the specials from Splat Devils got a lot more value just because of the intentions in which they were thrown. You had Splat Devils basically forcing out a lot of the D-sider specials in positions where you didn't really want to use them for just like getting back control of that elbow. You saw the Booyah Bomb and the strikes being used fairly often just to retake some of that space that Splat Devils was able to create just by their opening picks. You saw the Octobrush being able to get 1 or 2 and then creating that front forward advantage. That has been the strength of what we've seen from Splat Devils. So if D-siders want to stay in this one, they have to find that counteracting measure in order to just keep that space for themselves.
Most definitely, and those things that you mentioned kind of compound upon each other, right? Because if you're able to use your specials to get a pick advantage, then once you have control of the board, your next specials can be used to just counter the opponent, which we saw Splat Devils do very well there. Now, I want your thoughts here before you see these comps. More strikes for tower, yay or nay?
I don't know if you get more than 2 per side, so I'd probably go with the same here. We do see a lot of comp changes from both sides. Both will stick with at least one with trip strikes, both sides basically running a T-Tech / Octo. But the most important factor that I want to mention here is just how pretty much everyone else has changed their weapons. Splat Devils still sticking with that Octo Brush, however, but new weapons all across the board can provide a completely different game here.
Yeah, look at this. Blizzard, I think, opened the game with a triple and just opened the game with a quad. So this Octo Brush, you have to find a way to stop it if you're D-siders. But otherwise, I mean, if you're Blizzard, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And continue being, oh my gosh, and look at this again, an offensive presence for Splat Devils carrying them to the game.
You have those switch over to the roller, who unfortunately goes down on that, as I called out their name, D-siders now in a very difficult position as Splat Devils continuing this showing of force with that wipeout. Kraken Punk has a Zuka available, waiting for the opportune moment to use it on this Bats area, at least forcing D-siders back, and they are continuing to roll here. Kenma on this roller could be the counter that D-siders need for that Octoburst that has been giving them so much issues, and with that, that is a very nice wipeout on the side of D-siders to kind of bounce back, especially with them running this double bubble with the Squiffer and the roller. It could prove to be very dangerous.
Not a bad stop at all, but you see there's 3 members on the tower. They're not able to claim a whole bunch of space in front of the tower, nor behind them, so they're not really getting spread out here. They're getting a little bit pincered. However, Green is able to ride that thing all the way to 71 through the checkpoint. That's a good start, Rocket, but I'm going to look for a bit more positioning from them on the sides.
Yeah, Kraken Punk on this mini Splatling will have those beacons as well to regroup on this push. 3 down yet again for D-siders, as it is just continuous moving forward with Splat Devils getting that delayed wipeout to boot. Here come the specials, the Tri-Trikes are available. Here comes Blizzard yet again causing havoc, finding one onto Kenma. Usually a difficult interaction to have as an Octopus. Another nice shot by Kraken Punk with that Zuka, and Splat Devils have shown no signs of stopping here. This could be an easy KO here, just the CDS left standing and the Squiffer, and that will do it there. Game 2 in the favor of Splat Devils taking this set, but remember, it's play all 3.
Most definitely, play all 3, and the Splat Devils definitely want to play for seeding, as do the D-siders. You never want to let a 2-0 run away from you and become, or an 0-2 become an 0-3 if you can help it. That's why Swiss is so unique. You always got to be at your best if possible. But Rocket, let's chat a little bit more about the positioning, because even on defense here towards the end, it felt as though the members of D-Siders weren't quite loading themselves up where they need to be. Now, I liked their special usage and their coordination much more in this game, but it seems as though they've got a few things to work out before they can get quite to where Splat Devils is.
Yeah, I saw pretty often that Splat Devils kind of beat D-Sliders to the positions that you would want to hold on that with those bats areas, Blizzard. I know we keep saying their name because just how much of a presence and an annoyance they have been for D-Siders has been the spearhead to what Splat Devils wants to do. They want to play with that aggro position. You want to get to where D-Siders wants to be before they can get there. And that's really what allowed them to move forward. Basically, the entire match just continues from start to the end, only requiring 2 pushes to do so.
Yeah, I mean, you said it best. Blizzard has been keeping the D-Siders ice cold here. Now, how do we continue that on Clam, Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime? The Brush, there's a bit more open space, right? So some of these longer range members of D-Siders, the Brush may find it a little bit tougher to get the jump on them in that case. If you're a Brush player, how do you maintain that momentum on a more open stage like this?
You just gotta keep doing what you've been doing and being that annoyance. Me personally, I play with a Brush player on my own, and they love Clam Blitz just for that chaotic factor. Just, you want to keep D-Siders on their toes, and if you're on the side of D-Siders, you want to do the opposite. You want to shut down Blizzard with everything you have. I mean, at this point in the match, you've seen how much of a problem they can be. You need to have these resources just developed towards them to stop them, if whatever it takes at this point. Maybe 2 players on them, but we'll have to wait and see if they come out with any adjustments to that.
And I was hoping that Kraken Punk would return to the Hammer Mini, because I think the Hammer can rip folks up here on this stage, where you've got these flank routes that are long and flat. You can use that hammer a lot along the edges here. That's the perfect pick to go back to for this game 3.
An open, wide mid is what Barnacle and Dime is mostly known for. You have the opening picks, both sides losing their shots could prove to be very difficult, at least for the side of Splat Devils, as they heavily rely on that paint to help get Blizzard in. You have Blizzard moving in already in the back of your screen near the spawn. The Zipcaster is taken out, however, and this is a good opening for D-Siders, just to be able to kind of stall out that opening push from Splat Devils, as they've just been known to kick off things just fast flowing.
And look at that, Golden Pine is going to go down to Blizzard here, who's going to roll around and get a second. That first push, they knew where Blizzard was, but this time they aren't able to catch him out before Blizzard does get a triple. Now it's just Ghost Rider trying to hold down mid here. It's going to get picked there, but that should hopefully give their team time to come back and respond. But the Splat Devils, it seems like they were undeterred by that opening rocket, and they're right back with it.
Yeah, Fool Crumb getting a nice one onto Golden Pine. We'll follow up those initial trip strikes with another one, sending D-Siders running. They go down, however, as Blizzard and now the rest of the Splat Devils kick into action. They're moving forward, taking the space, but there's the major problem. There's the Clams. There they are. The ball is formed by Blizzard, continuously causing so much havoc. Zipcaster going out yet again. They get taken out as D-Siders. Nice recovery from what looks like a very disastrous situation to keep things going. 77 is a manageable lead to take back in Clam Blitz.
Yeah, I really like that defensively, and at first I was kind of tilting my head at the blob being so far back, but it really worked to pincer and funnel in all the members of Splat Devils to exactly where the D-Siders wanted them to be. And now we've gotten a tempting push out here. Green, unfortunate, did not see that bomb, as Blizzard is going to be rolling forward once again with a numbers advantage, spurred on by that bomb. You've got the Zip here, hopefully looking to make some magic. Oh my goodness, Snow Day from Blizzard. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Blizzard goes off again. That's a wipeout. That's going to be a lot of clams pouring in for Splat Devils here.
Blizzard absolutely hits true with all their Zipcasters. A major problem just springing in and out. You see them up there again, getting a 1-for-2 trade. That will, of course, benefit Splat Devils, as that gives them so much more of an opportunity to work with. You have the clams continuously flowing in. Green or just trying to stop the bleeding. Kraken Punk getting taken out. A ball is formed, and it hits home in the basket, and in the blink of an eye, Splat Devils complete the clean sweep of D-Siders.
Wow, bravo, bravo. And you know what? I want to, before we talk about how cool that performance by Blizzard was, I want to give major props to D-siders because I feel like often in sets like this, you could see teams start off strong and then peter down throughout the set. I felt this was the opposite. I felt that despite how rapid that game was, that the D-siders played their strongest game. There's just nothing you can do about Blizzard coming in there and getting a triple every time, Rocket.
Yeah, and of course, being that X factor, obviously not discrediting the rest of Splat Devils to move in with the distraction that the brush created. Just because you have that star player doesn't mean you're guaranteed to win every time, and we see Splat Devils playing really nicely, bouncing off their star brush and moving forward with this space. That is the pace that you want to set, and Splat Devils took the pedal to the metal and never looked back. So GG's to both teams as Splat Devils take a very nice one and a great confidence booster to start things off here in CCA Circuit Qualifier number 3.
Oh my gosh, I mean, what a way to start your day, especially if folks who are looking at the leaderboard for a team like Splat Devils, they currently have 67 points in this first split. They are out of that top 6 by a mere 20 points. So if they have a strong performance today, they could slip in and get that ticket punch. Now, it's going to be a bit of an uphill climb for them, but what a better way to start that attempt to slip in into that top 6 ranking than with a dominant 3-0 performance like that. Blizzard's playing hot, or playing cold, shall we say, and it looks like they're going to have a good run today.
For sure. Of course, we'll keep you updated with the leaderboard in all of these divisions as we move through the rest of Swiss. I believe we'll be taking a very momentary break just to get the next match going, just to see what we'll be looking at next. But don't go anywhere. We will be right back in 5.
Yeah, we said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No, who am I to let you down? Down, if you let me walk away, maybe then we'd lose it all. No. Who am I to let you
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? control. Switching the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
Welcome back, folks, to the CCA Season 2, Qualifier number 3 for the first split. We are in Swiss Round 2, folks, and we've got a doozy here for you in Division 2, Rocket. Both of these teams are sitting at 1-0, looking to grind themselves up to a winning record here and start off strong today.
And more specifically, looking at Group B, like you mentioned, both these teams already 1-1. Both different stories in terms of trying to keep in the hunt in terms of the overall leaderboard, but no time to look at that right now. Let's look at their weapon comps.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see well-string battles on Rainmaker. I think that's exciting. We are seeing that Zipcaster Luna come out, which is not as popular to my knowledge these days, so I'm excited to see Pampers cook over there. What are your thoughts on which team is coming out with stronger comp?
I mean, we already have seen the strength of Octobrush in our previous set that we casted, so definitely keep your eyes here for that on CSULB. You have Jason moving on the left side. On my own personal favorite, that Frozen Pro, the flexibility and the range that it can provide. You already see it poking away on this left side, trying to find any opening, though both sides still trying to feel each other out. You have Wishy-Washy on that well string for EAUCD, managing to find one hammer also activated as well, and will open the doors for Splatoon White to move in with that Rainmaker.
Yeah, I love how patient they were on that opening, and now they do have one member behind them, a couple chasing in front that will prevent them from getting that checkpoint. Only the Luna is left up, but is kind of sharking in position back here. Mid-Zipcaster will get one, and oh my goodness, CSULB Black was not able to grind up in time, and Splatoon White got some jumps in, a pick by Pampers. Rocket, they may get this checkpoint after all.
And that's really nicely done from that Luna Blaster to get that bomb kill, opening the door for Splatoon Whites to keep moving forward. The Wellstring battle, like you mentioned, just poking away at that Rainmaker shield, kind of playing chicken with it, as you see Jason trying to get in a flank on EAUCD, getting snuffed out. Could provide now an opportunity for CSULB Black to move forward with this numbers advantage.
Yeah, and look at this. The brush, again, is going to be causing some mayhem, but the Dynamo's going to shut that down. Still trying to maintain some big ink presence in mid for EAUCD. And Phantasma here, how crucial is that going to be on this stage just to have that much ink pouring out in mid at all times?
I think that's a surprising thing that I've seen in this match so far. When you take a look at the weapon comps between both these sides, really the only mobile painter on the side of EAUCD Splatoon White is going to be the Amperi Dualies. The other weapons can't really, either they can't really paint for themselves, or they can't really move out of the way, and you see why it could be proving very problematic with that Zipcaster finding those two targets, opening the door for CSULB Black to move in, and could provide for a very quick lead change here so far.
Oh yeah, Tentinel, the only question here is how far are they going to get, and apparently not very, as they are going to get stuffed at the 44. 3 members now of CSU going down. That's going to be a Rainmaker grab for EAU getting back. Now, Nightbloom has that splashdown at the ready. You've got to get it past to 43 here. Do you choose left route or right route? My vote is for left, but who knows? If you get enough down rocket, that right route could always be.
With their Rainmaker carrier going down, it puts them in a very tough spot. When you have a weapon comp such as EAUCD Splatoon White has, if you have either your Luna or your Dualies pick up the weapon, you really don't have that much of a frontline fast-flowing weapons like I mentioned earlier. You have the slow Dynamo and Wellstring to slowly inch up, yes, but you don't have that aggressive frontline that you could have, especially with what CSULB Black is running with that Octobrush. You have them having that front forward presence with the Zap and the Pro to kind of be their vanguards, be the initiators.
Yeah, this is an interesting comp for sure coming out from EAU. It's like the question is who grabs it, because then if the Dynamo grabs it, you don't have as much ink coming out up front, but that's not a problem if you can continue to stuff CSU as soon as they grab it. Now they do still have to get a push to flip this lead back with about 90 seconds to go. Nightbloom is going to help the pop there up front, is going to end up grabbing it. We've got the special ready from the Wellstring, trades up front to make it 3v3. We're looking to get some more paint on this left-hand side. Rainmaker gets one, is looking to press up towards the left here. The Dynamo's trying to make some space for Nightbloom here. What is going to be the key to flipping this back, right?
You've got to move in front of this Rainmaker. You've got to give the Rainmaker space to move forward, and that is what they do. EAUCD Yes, they do get wiped out, but 27 is a very comfortable lead to hold from, given the comp. They would be stronger on defense, and in these scenarios where you have the lead, 40 seconds left in a difficult spot now is CSULB Black as they move forward with these missiles moving forward. Zipcaster also activated, but a nice shot by that Lush trying to shut it down.
Oh my gosh, that plus the pick on the other side means that no longer does CSU have numbers. They get a clean pick back, which will help them out a little bit, but this Rainmaker clock, is going to go down, so now they only have 20 seconds left to try and get this pop back. Only the Brush and the Fro up at the front. The Brush, though, is going to try and make some magic happen up the front. Gets one pick. Is going to go back to help their teammates with only 10 seconds left. You have to wonder if that was the right idea, because now they no longer have that left-hand side, though the Zipcaster is going to come out once again, kind of barreling up front and isn't able to do anything again. Sentinel in overtime has the Rainmaker trying to grind it out, but the other Zipcaster is going to get picked as well. The Killer Whale, the splashdown. Terrific defense from EAUCD, Splatoon White, and Rocket. What a game one.
Yeah, just no room to move there. They were playing the patient and long game. Overtime in Rainmaker is one of the scariest things that you can have, especially if you don't have the lead. Moving forward slowly but surely, you have everybody on the side of EAUCD poking away at it, and I believe I saw pretty much 3 specials being used there. If it wasn't the hammer, if it wasn't the whale, it was going to be the splashdown, so no room to really operate there. Really nicely defended by EAUCD Splatoon White. But the more important thing that I want to point out is, at least from what I saw, I had reservations about their offensive movements, just because of, like I said, the slow pace that they would play without their dualies or the Luna Blaster, or just both in conjunction, as they would just leave one of those players being the only one moving forward. But I mean, they completely shut me up on that push that got them that lead.
Oh, same. I felt like we were both pressing X to doubt, or whatever the button is. I can never remember if it's X or F, but either, it's X, because press F to pay respects. But we ain't doing that after they won game one. We're eating a little bit of crow over here. Now, the question for us, Rocket, is that comp going to continue to work on Zone's Urchin, or do they need to switch it up a little bit to get to 2-0?
I mean, you can get away with that lesser paint on a map like Urchin Underpass, just given the nature of where the zone is. It is on the lowest point of the map. It is a fairly small one as well, and I think they can get away with it just because of the fact they have that Dynamo. You have the Dynamo to pretty much one swing cover up pretty much, like, I would ballpark it as 80% of the zone just in one fell swoop, and that can be a strong presence to have, just given the geometry of Urchin Underpass.
I'm with you. I mean, Dynamo Roller on Urchin zones has been terrorizing this community for over a decade. Literally. So I'm excited to see that come back. We'll see if the other members will change. No, we are getting an X-Blow instead. It changed to the Gold Dynamo too. And on the other end, I like the swap to the T-Tech for the strikes.
Yes. Interesting choice to have Ninja Squid on that Zap, so you could see a little bit more of that springing into action as that frontline painter. Wasting no time, though, is Splatoon White, moving it already with control of that zone. You did mention that switch over to the Gold Dynamo. I love it for those chomps, just providing that paint support, which will be heavily needed. 3 players going down on the side of CSULB Black, as Splatoon White's not wasting any time getting that wipeout to secure things and kicking it back into high gear.
Oh, for sure, and Pampers is looking for more, is not quite able to find anything, but crucially does not go down, as 2 other members of CSU will go down. That is a huge advantage, as EAUCD is now taking this thing past the halfway point, Rocket.
Very tough spot to come from, especially since you have 2 specials just waiting in waits. You have one of them being used by Nightbloom, taking out that Octo shot on that left side. You have the Octo Brush moving in, trying to create space themselves. 2 players are down, though, from Splatoon White. An opportunity for CSULB to move in, and with just the Luna Blaster standing, Pampers left to fend for themselves will smartly jump out, and that is a really, really aggressive front that we saw from Splatoon White, just wasting no time to move into that zone, and that's just what led them to that early lead so far.
Oh, yeah, and we'll see if they can get it right back. You see Nightbloom kind of hanging out on this right-hand side, trying to replicate a little bit of what CSU used to move back in here. And oh my gosh, they're going to go for the chumps splashdown combo. They can't get the splashdown off, but I think the curling bomb got 2, and now it's just 1v1 in the zone. That was one of the most ridiculous interactions I've ever seen. The jumps are coming in for EAUCD, is going to pick 1. Now they have to flip the zone back. They should be able to, despite the jumps coming in from the other side. The brush is going to get picked off here, Rocket. Oh my gosh, this has turned surprisingly back and forth after that open.
Well, looked like a strong hold from CSULB turned disasters with that double kill on that curling bomb, like you mentioned. Now, Top in a difficult position. They still have control of the zone, however. I thought UCD, okay, they do eventually get control of that zone back, but it's given CSULB some time now to recover, just trying to fight off. Jason still on this Frozen Pro, trying to get the better of this duel. He's left in a very difficult position, potentially being caught out of position as they will go down. A 1-for-1 trade will be had, however, as here come the specialists from CSULB trying to get in this retake, and they will.
Nightbloom has that splashdown at the ready once again. Is going to use it to press Tentinel back. Is in a 2v1 here. Is going to get picked. Is not able to get a trade out of that. As CSU comes rushing back in here. Is going to go down 1, down 2, down 3. Huge advantage here for Splatoon White, who's getting a jump back in. They've got to grind through these penalty points, but this is looking pretty good with a splashdown from Wishy-Washy getting 1. Oh my gosh, the brush is forced to scramble back. Rocket, this could be it.
Yes, Tentinel has the potential X-Factor in their hands. Dangerously is dropping this right side. You have those trip tricks. You want to use it for retake, and they clearly go down there. As Splatoon White will be able to clean them up now without those trip tricks. It's going to be a very tough retake with not a lot of time to go. 2 players do go down there from EAUCD, and that could be the opening that CSU needs. They will be able to take the advantage of it, especially with Jason with a nice 2-0, but that looks very scary there so far.
And you know what? It's because CSU is never giving up on that right drop. Even when it doesn't quite seem wise, they're still doing it. And it's just such a surprise factor that it keeps giving them this zone back when they're about to hit Oblivion here. But now Nightbloom with a really nice trade up front is going to try and maintain this zone, getting another, rolling through. Look at this pincer up on the hill. Another trade. The Dynamo gets 1 for the wipe. And once again, EAUCD Splatoon White is within within sniffing distance of a knockout.
We only have 1 or 2 more retake attempts left in this match for CSU. Time is running out. Missiles will go out from Jason, opening the doors. You will have to worry about Wishy-Washy Splashdown just waiting on the left side, as well as Nightbloom's, but Nightbloom goes down early. Here come the strikes. Here's Wishy-Washy's Splashdown themselves to get that control of zone. Time is ticking down. Will there be enough time or paint? No, there won't, as EAUCD Splatoon White takes the 2-0, taking that set, but we still have a Game 3, of course, for seeding, but oh my goodness, Sofa.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I mean, you could look at CSU Black's performance and say, okay, well, they never quite had like a sustained presence in mid, but I mean, they were really hard to put away for Splatoon White the entire time. It felt like they were really, kind of giving it their all, getting the key trades and key clean picks when it mattered, and you can never count out a team like that when we're heading into a Game 3 on tower control Manta. Now, if you're CSULB Black, you've got to keep the mindset that, hey, we got to make this a 1-2 here, just to try and help our seeding, help our standings here. Do you mix anything up with the comp, or do you just kind of keep with it and say, that game was close, I think we could pull off Game 3?
It's going to be a rough spot, because looking at the comp that EAUCD ran, it is really strong on a map as Manta Maria, just given the angles. I mean, if they do stick with that Explosher, there's a lot of tough angles to take. Splashdown is really dangerous on these really close quarters. Same thing for that Dynamo as well, which has proven to be a really good strength for EAU, and seems that CSU really hasn't found an answer for it quite yet.
No, and it's commanding so much space, like you said, that it can be tough to break in when you're like, oh my gosh, we got to do something about this Dynamo so that we can move. But then, whoops, while you're distracted, the Luna comes around the side, and you never know what's going to happen there. So EAU is doing a really good job at just kind of drawing eyes to a lot of different places to make sure that they can kind of operate and do what they want from any angle. Now for Manta, it's a little bit tighter than some of these other maps have been. Like you said, a little bit more focus on those corners, so they can still accomplish that style of play, but it's going to take kind of a different gear to be able to do so. How does it shifting to tower control change that mindset at all?
Just being able to play around those angles. You mentioned it. I didn't even think about it, but Luna blasters in general are really strong on tower, and that is another wrinkle that you have to have for CSU to counter. And you will have Jason, of course, I'm assuming, still sticking with the Frozen Pro. The missiles are a great way to kind of get those weapons out of those tough to reach positions, but in terms of the rest of the team flowing around that, it really will have to come down to the strategy of which they want to unveil here. I will imagine they will change one or two things up as they are down 2-0 in this already, trying to get that game back.
All right, will CSU go quietly, or will they make this a 2-1 set here? We see the Wellstring coming back, paired with the new Splash with the Toxic Mist and the Rain. On the other side, the Luna coming back out. And the Dynamo, I kind of like the Killer Whale Dynamo coming back out for Manta with how tight these corridors are.
Interesting as well as Wishy Washy will switch over to the Z and F. They are immediately taken out, but the key thing to note there is those trip strikes are GG specials. You throw them on the tower if you have that lead, and it is game over. Pampers taking this flank, couldn't get a nice double here, perfectly timed, and that is the strength of Blaster on Manta. But tower specifically, so difficult to deal with as you have these rigid angles. As they continue to move forward, taking out Jason, they could find another as well. But that Zipcaster will end still, though. Their job has been accomplished, and that first checkpoint is down for EAU.
Absolutely love that start, and we see Nightbloom has the splashdown at the ready as well, but is gonna Pampers is gonna go down to the brush. Another one, oh my gosh, was able to, I think, get the splashdown and both of the other hands, so took no damage coming out of that. And what a defensive stop from CSU. That is a clear as sign as any, Rocket, that they are not ready to give up on this set.
For sure, that cooler will be the initiation of that push. A 1-for-1 trade will be had between that Octobrush and the Dualies. 3 go down, however, for CSU, as a nice bounce back will allow EAU to move forward. Jason really being the last player standing, trying to hold position in mid, waiting for the rest of their team to regroup, as EAU, a very strong showing, just holding this forward. You have Wishy Washy with those trip strikes, going to be very strong on this push. There they go. They're getting dove in, however, as Jason almost gets that pick, but they are cleaned out nonetheless. As so far, it has been a very tightly contested game. The score doesn't really show it justice, as neither side has been really able to make some significant ground.
Yeah, it has, kind of been locked in neutral for now. You're seeing 83-59, but this is a very neck-and-neck game here, as the Dynamo Phantasm is able to get one, is trying to defensively get another, but is going to get pinched from behind, traded back out. Still, numbers are up for CSU as they are rolling into this area where they're able to get the lead. Nightbloom splashdown is not quite centered on the tower. That is going to be lead for CSU. If they can break this checkpoint, that would be critical. Sentinel dancing around the ZNF is going to get taken down by the Dynamo, but Rocket, that checkpoint is huge.
That checkpoint is going to be absolutely necessary. You have an unfortunate falling off of the map by Jason. I mean, it was either that or dying to that Dynamo on Phantasma, so it's really no winning in that interaction. But you do have now, with under half the match to be played left, a 2-for-2 fight will be had. You have EAUCD in a little bit of advantage point, but CSU still knocking at that door, trying to find their lucky break. It's really going to come out to these specials and coordinating them in a quick time, because so far EAU has still held firm on their defense.
And here's their chance on offense as they get 2 down. That tower's going to be rumbling forward. Nightbloom with the splashdown ready once again is looking for an opening that the Dynamo's providing by getting the Wellstring. Strikes up. Look how far up this splashdown is being pushed. Now the tower is under attack here, so they may not be able to get the lead back. Nightbloom is going to have to dive away from that tower, now using the splashdown to get one. Nightbloom v Jason. Nightbloom going for the tower instead, but does not have any teammates supporting them. Is going to have to back off. It's going to get picked. Oh my gosh, Rocket, that felt like a missed opportunity.
It's an absolute brutal 1 minute 30 left. Still plenty of time to get a couple more pushes in, probably 2 or 3 if I were to estimate, but they're gonna have to matter, and they're gonna have to matter now. Pampers with this Zipcaster, very deadly combination with that Luna Blaster, getting into tough-to-reach positions. They are taken out, however, but they will get at least the assist on 2 players of CSU, as 3 in total go down, as it's just left to that Zap running for the hills, trying to live to fight another day and saving that cooler for this retake. A minute left and a tough mountain to climb. Not only you need to stop, in order to get this push going, you need to stop EAU, but you got to push all the way back there towards that next checkpoint.
It's going to be tough, especially now that they've gone 3 down. It's just the Dynamo who's kind of out of position on this side. You want to make sure the Dynamo's up with the rest of your team. Is going to get a trade, but it's going to plummet into the depths of Manta Maria there. With only about 30 seconds to go, the Dynamo's up fast. The Brush Apocalypser is going to jump back before getting another pick there. But again, pushing is CSU Black, and if you're EAU, that's not what you want. They do get up 2, though, in these final seconds here, Rocket. Do you think they can pull it off?
20 seconds left. It's going to have to come from these specials. Wishy-washy halfway towards those trip strikes can prove to be very vital. You have the whales as well from that Dynamo. 10 seconds left. Here come the specials. They need to matter now. Pampers being that front forward, leading that distraction. Wishy-washy being firm on that tower. Finds an opportunity to use those strikes just to stall it. Will find that pick onto the Octobrush as well. It is a tough fight now onto the tower. Everyone jumping on it, but it will remain in favor of CSULB as they will clear it off and take 1 game away from EAUCD at the very least, ending this set 2-1.
That is something to hang your hat on there for sure, to say, hey, we didn't get swept. We're out here playing. It's Swiss. We go to a bracket anyway, so we've got a long day ahead of us. It's those kind of sets that can kind of buoy your mental state and to help maintain that throughout the day. Now, at the very end here, with this Dynamo rolling around on the tower, I mean, I think that was the key there, right? That's your GG as easily as strikes or booyahs. It's like, nope, you just don't get to stand here. So that was why you like to see Dynamo on tower there as well towards the end. But for EAUCD Splatoon White, you're still taking this as a dub, Rocket, because this team in Division 2 is currently in that top 6 that would be punching their tickets to finals if they can maintain it. So they move up to 2-0 here, and they're looking at a great start for their run as well. If they can keep it up, they're going to be going to finals.
And if you're on the other side, CSULB Black, of course, not the match that you wanted, not the set that you wanted. Of course, you got that 1 back for seeding purposes, but they are currently in the hunt. I believe they are ranked 13th right now in Division 2. Still in the hunt to see if they can pull off some things, but if the rest of their tournament goes well, they could sneak their way in up there, but we'll just have to wait and see, as with them now being 1-1, it's going to be a little bit of a tougher battle to move forward. But, I mean, they showed a lot of fight in that one Sofa. I mean, if you're already losing that set, some people might just kind of hang your head down. But they fought back in that. They were down in that game, and they came roaring back.
And the reason why that's important is because with this tournament in particular, the Swiss is only the beginning. Kind of regardless, I think with the exception of just a very few teams, every team goes to the bracket anyways. So you are probably going to see some of these teams again in bracket that you saw in Swiss. If they remember that you just rolled over, then it's not going to go so well. But now for CSU, like, we took a game off them. The next set could just as easily go our way. So it's important to maintain that in a tournament like this, where you know you're going to that second stage no matter what.
Yeah, and all those matches were close. Don't get it twisted. Like, they came down to just one push one way or the other that completely changed the tempo of the game. And I'm sure that if they do meet each other again in bracket, it could be an interesting storyline. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we're going to take a momentary break as the rest of the matches continue forth, as round 3 will await us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the continuation of Circuit Qualifier number 3 with CCA.
could we let it go? But we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No. Who am I to let you down, down, down? If you let me walk away, maybe then we'd lose it all. No. Who am I to let you
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Full steam through the setbacks. You can't win them all, but I'm proud I tried. Glad we had.
And we are back for round 3 of Swiss. Now, switching things over to Division 4, Group A, 3.2 match we have for us. We'll have the University of Auburn Orange versus University of Dayton's Firefin Flyers.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one, folks, because yet again we have another match with stakes in the Swiss round. Both of these teams are sitting at 1-1. If you're 2-1, your seed is looking pretty good going into bracket. If you're 1-2 in this group, you might be in danger of missing it altogether. So a big match coming in here. And we got to give a shout out to the Firefin Flyers, the Dayton University Firefin Flyers, our pal Falco, well-known figure throughout the Splatoon community. This is Falco's alma mater, Falco's stomping grounds, as it were. So we will try to remain as unbiased as possible. But for me, a fellow Ohio boy, I might be in the back of my mind looking at those Firefin Flyers.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a tough opponent in front of them in Auburn Orange. These two teams seem pretty evenly matched just based on how it's gone so far. Auburn Orange have split their games 3-3 with the Firefin Flyers 4-2, but both sit at 1-1, like you mentioned, a lot at stake in this group. 1-2 could put you in a dangerous situation where you could miss that Division 4 bracket. So pretty much playing with everything on the line here as we take a look at how this can start off. We're taking a look at Museum Clams as our game one.
Oh my gosh, and I know somebody who's rejoicing in chat will be our favorite Clamblets, because the last set, Clamblets, I'm sorry, but the last set didn't have any Clamblets. Now we return it back to you here with the first game. Now, Clamblets on Museum, Rocket, is there a key here that you're looking for a good start, a good push for these teams?
Museum is a very difficult map to push on for clams. There is limited ways to move up it. You either go up the ramp or you take the dangerous jump on the block. So it's going to come down to continuous pushes, utilizing your specials to fast flow into it. And as we take a look at these weapon comps, I feel like for the first time we see a true backline in the Hydra being brought out from Auburn Orange.
I kind of like that. I'm a fan of Hydra on this map as long as there's no E-leader on the other side, as we see both teams kind of playing it safe in the opening, trying to get their clams up. And I think the first engagement is probably going to come from this Wiper, this Sploosh, some of these weapons that are trying to maximize these position differentials and advantage state here. Rocket, looking at these comps, do you think one team or the other has a distinct advantage?
I mean, it's hard to say right now, just given the nature of things. You have a pretty balanced comp coming out from Auburn Orange with a very much fast-fighting, aggressive comp from Firefin Flyers. You have a hammer going in from Jirachi, trying to see if they can clear anything. Booyah Bomb as well, and here is the splashdown. This is exactly what you want on a Museum with those fast-flowing weapon comps. A ball is missed, however, Silver might be able to get it in time. No, that is a massive hold from Firefin Flyers to prevent that lead going down to 60. Auburn Orange, an opportunity missed, and now it is ball in Firefin Flyers' court to move in with that pity clam and a ball they just made.
And look at Reddy on this Sploosh, was able to get one pick, is now rotating out to this left-hand side to try and get the roller out. They're going to maintain numbers here in the early going. Look at all the specials, like you said, that they have 3 specials at the ready, a whole bucket of clams. Now if they can maximize these and get some picks out of them, that is going to be the key here. But you've got Jirachi loaded up on this left-hand side, is loading up Reddy with a lot of damage here, but does not get the pick. Rocket, who is going to be the key defensive player to watch here for Auburn?
It's absolutely going to be Soul on this Hydra. They are the anchor, the backbone of this, really being able to poke away and bully Firefin Flyers back with the range and the fast firepower. Given the comps that we see, really the only player that can deal with is the Wellstring. You have the Booyah Bomb kind of stuck in an awkward position just given the spinner moving, but take a look at the clams that are in the pockets of Firefin. 2 balls being formed, 26 clams in total, and 3 specials. Something is gotta give, and you see Auburn Orange giving a little bit with 3 players going down. This is the opportunity for Firefin Flyers, at the very least, to move into mid to take this space.
But they have to move that Hydra, like you said, as the Hydra Soul will get one, is looking for more as they're setting up defensively. Look at the clam economy, though, has been firmly in control of Dayton. Despite that, though, the hammer will go down. It seems like they can't quite break in on all this ink, all this defensive firepower as Soul shuts down another member. Now, if you're Auburn Orange, though, Rocket, you're going to want more than just 80 on this one.
For sure, and that is a knife in the hearts right there, with 2 being found by the dualies, potentially a third, but you saw all 3 of those balls that Firefin Flyers had gone and no longer of use now. An opportunity to move forward, though, as CBG getting 2 with that hammer completely changes the script of things. Oh my goodness, just completely in a different position now. Firefin Flyers have an opportunity to take this mid control and build up yet another push.
Did you see that, though? Even though Auburn went 3 down, Seoul did not back up and was able to prevent them from getting any space off of that. So this Hydra absolutely is shutting things down for the Firefin Flyers and making sure they can't go anywhere. We see the Booyah coming out now versus Sprout. Sprout now with the Booyah behind them has to go forwards into Seoul's range. Is kind of cut off from the rest of their team here. 2 down, slight numbers advantage for Auburn here as they are going to be looking to push again. But crucially, Rocket, the Hydra does go down.
Yeah, and it's just been an absolute slugfest so far. I mean, neither side has really gotten much progress after that early initiated push from Auburn Orange just to get the scoring started, but that's kind of what we expect from Museum, just a very sluggish match yet again. Auburn Orange heavily relying on that Hydra to anchor up their defense. 2 players do go down. You do have Ready trying to go up this block to maybe get in a sneaky pop, but you have Soul yet again still on that back spinner, still have to move him. 40 seconds left, do or die time now for Firefin Flyers.
Watching Ready there was mesmerizing. I thought they were going to be able to get some kind of opening. It did not work out that time. And now we are back to neutral with that Hydra up. We've got Splashdown ready. We got Booyah coming out. A lot of resources on either team at their disposal. And again, with the Clam advantage is Dayton. That Splashdown coming out up top isn't able to get anybody. Ready, dancing around towards the bottom. It's going to get one traded out, not able to get more than just that. And the numbers go back to Auburn for now.
Yes, 2 balls in the hands of Firefin Flyers, just waiting now for the opportunity to move in, but they cannot waste any more time as with time ticking down, they are in overtime. It is do or die time. Silver with the splashdown causing a lot of disruption in the side of Firefin Flyers. They are quickly taken out. 2 specials online for Firefin Flyers to really play with. Here come the strikes. Here come the whales. Here comes Ready moving in, managing to get past Soul at the very least to break the barrier, but there just needs to be one more Clam, and it's found. It's found by a block jump just under Soul, where when Soul was using that Booyah Bomb, they were not able to stop that jump as Firefin Flyers takes and steals game 1.
Remarkable. I mean, they really did steal it, like you said. And you know what was needed to steal it was just dumping every special they had on that dang Hydra to get him out of the way. They needed the whale to shift the Hydra back. They needed the strikes to clear out in front of it and to obscure its vision. And that let them barely get the basket open and then barely get the winning Clam. A really strong defensive performance by both teams, though, and I'm curious to see how that's going to transfer over into another mode and another map.
But you can just tell how much of an impact the Hydra had. The only reason, I want to reiterate, the only reason that Clam was able to make it in that basket was because Soul used the Booyah Bomb. They were not in a position to stop that player, and there was an opportunity, and I mean, you saw Firefin Flyers take it. It's something that they have just done. They were able to do really nicely, just bend but not break. Eventually something gave, and they were in that opportune moment to take full advantage. And if you're on the side of Auburn Orange, still, it's a tough loss, but you were controlling that pretty much from beginning to end, so it is a very great opportunity to bounce back now moving to game 2, but absolutely awesome from Firefin Flyers to come out on top on that one.
Yeah, that's one that you have to shake off, right? Because for how soul-crushing that may have felt, this set is still, within either team's destiny to win. And with how close that was, Auburn, they got to maintain that mental state and shake off the fact that they're starting this 0-1 to try and roll right into Rainmaker on Scorched Gorge, because Rainmaker Rocket, this one can be over in a flash, or insurmountable in a flash if the other team gets a good push. So whoever's rolling in here with momentum is going to be the team that could take home this set. That's going to be the factor here. Do you think they keep this Hydra for Rainmaker Scorch, or are they going to have to switch things up now that they're off of this long museum map?
I think that it can definitely be in the cards to use that Hydra. You saw the presence of it. Booyah Bomb is a great special at forcing defensive players out of those positions, could help initiate in that elbow area to get that first checkpoint. But the key thing I want to note, Firefin Flyers pulled out a Welshring on Clam Blitz, and I mean, game 2, Welshring, Rainmaker, I mean, it's just a wonderful combo to have just to kind of counteract the shredding power of that Hydra, and it could allow Firefin Flyers to find some interesting situations where you have that Welshring just continuing to poke away at the rest of Auburn Orange.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just as much of a defensive presence as the Hydra was in Game 1, so I'm curious to see how it translates. And with that being such a defensive game, now we're kind of going to a game mode that's more offensive, that you want to have some of these fast-paced, these poppy pushes that, in Game 1, both teams were kind of preventing the other from doing exactly that. So do you think one of these comps or the other, the front line specifically, is going to be more well-suited to that?
Yeah, it's just rough to push into the Hydra with Auburn Orange. Basically, you saw all of the resources have to be developed. If they still stick with that Neo Sploosh and that Neo Splash, you will have the Trip Strikes and the Killer Whale to really dislodge that. But you need... The fact that we saw in that Game 1, the lesson that I learned there is Firefin Flyers have to have a collective effort to really dislodge the rest of Auburn Orange, who, even if they went 1 or 2 down, you always had that backbone to really fall back on, and that seems to be the nature of how they love to play. Yes, you can take risks on the side of Auburn Orange because you have a fallback option, you have a safety blanket.
It looks as though the Hydra is going to come back out, a gold arrow spray to try to give them some more ink up front. And like you expected, that Wellstring coming out on the other side. I'm curious if they're going more of a midline comp here with the knot coming out. I kind of like that for how this map has some long lanes in mid.
Yeah, really the only change is going with that Zuker Viper. Very aggressive from Auburn Orange. 3 pretty much fighty frontline weapons, 2 Booyah Bombs in the pocket of Auburn Orange to play with here, and with 30 seconds already gone in this match, neither side has really been able to find an opening, but Jirachi might be the one to open it up with 2 on that hammer.
Well done, Jirachi. That is what we wanted to see from the previous game, and now we're seeing some good offensive plays. 2 down for Firefin. Auburn's got it, and they're eyeing that checkpoint if they can get Ready out of the way. Now, Ready was such a strong presence in that other game, and is going to continue that with a lovely Zuka pick on the raid. Nice defensive stop from Firefin. More of what we've seen throughout this set.
Yes, Viper poking away at this Rainmaker, trying to at least stall the pop, but Paint, of course, heavily controlled in Auburn Orange. You see it there. I mean, it's no surprise, really, just given the comp, but Firefin Flyers do have the ability to kind of stall this out. You do have to worry about just how much space and how fast Auburn Orange can take it up, but not with a double Zuka coming out from Ready. That's exactly what you want, to completely stall that push right in its tracks, and now open the door for a great opportunity for Firefin Flyers to take that checkpoint.
Oh, and they get the hammer picked right away, so a good defensive turnaround already for Auburn. After that checkpoint, they are going to disallow anything further, pinching with Soul and the frontliners to get 2 more members. Now you see Ready kind of coming up isolated from their team, and now the tables have turned. It's just the Wellstring on the other side. We could be looking at a checkpoint as the hammer comes out and gets 1. That is going to be a checkpoint. The knot's coming out on the side is also going to go down, and Auburn is set up in a way better position than Firefin was when they were on the other side.
And Soul has a Booyah Bomb to use as well. Won't be able to get it out in time as the Rainmaker is taken out. Here comes another one, though. This time it is Soul's Booyah Bomb. You have Jirachi moving forward, just taking as many points as possible for the Auburn Orange. And 22 is a very strong lead to have in this map. It is a very tough push to have if you are getting into the other side, just given the defensive nature that is given with Scorch Gorge. I mean, you have so much high ground to poke away from that's going to be difficult for Firefin Flyers to move in, and of course, there is a weapon on the other side you have to face that we keep beating like a dead horse. That Hydra has to be moved.
Hey, I mean, we're beating that dead horse because it's a big old horse, and it's really important to whatever Auburn wants to do. And Rocket, that is why it's so crucial that Auburn got that huge lead, because now that Hydra pick just got way stronger since they're going to be defending for the second half of this game. We do see a Booyah coming out as Firefin goes 1 down, traded back out with the arrow spray, but 2 more go down for Firefin, and that push is stopped with 2 minutes to go.
2 minutes, tough spot to be in, but not out yet. Things can change in a dime, on a dime for Splatoon 3 competitive. Soul just poking away at this left side, being that nuisance that Firefin Flyers has to deal with. 1 is down, though, on the side of Auburn Orange. Could be an opportunity to move forward, but not if Firefin lose 2 of their front lines. Now, you kind of see a little bit of a stalling out. You see the recognition from the Auburn Orange players that's saying, hey, we have no reason to really push and take these unnecessary risks. Let's just hold it, force Firefin Flyers to come to us, and you still see it prove to be very effective as a lot of time is being wasted here. It's pretty much a minute has gone with just Auburn Orange chilling in mid.
Oh, and look at this pinch by the Wellstring. This is a risky gambit, but it looks as though it's going to pay off as they try and take control of mid. They get that Rainmaker. They're now swarming forwards. It's going to be mid for them. They're looking for a few more picks, and again, they have to displace that ever-present Hydra, but they're going to be pressing forward. You see Ready up front with the Wiper is going to go down. Mayday here trying to avoid this Zuka, which is going to pick nobody, I don't think. Everybody swarming in along this side is going to collapse. One will go down. This Rainmaker, though, is struggling to stay alive with 40 seconds left. Oh my gosh, Auburn is wiped out, but not before they get the Rain Rocket.
A great opportunity here. What looks like a tough hill to climb could prove to be a little bit more of a glimmer of hope. The Rainmaker kind of went in a little bit faster than the rest of their team had, so now Auburn Orange will get a little bit of time to reset, regroup. Here comes the splashdown. Here comes all the specials. That splashdown actually won't come out in time. You see the Hydra Soul just constantly shooting it, but they go down. Everyone is gone from Auburn Orange as Firefin Flyers steals another game, and what a resilient bunch they are as they take the set 2-0.
Holy smokes. I mean, you think they're down, you think they're out of it, but both Game 1 and Game 2, they have just come back with this insane push down the stretch to get them a victory, and this time it's a set victory. So the Firefin Flyers have 1 game left to play in this play all 3 Swiss, but they're going to end Swiss at 2-1. How remarkable for this team to have the guts to turn both of these games around in this set.
For sure, if you're a sports fan, you see those sports analytic websites that kind of predict which team has a percentage of win, what their percentage of win is. In both of these games, Firefin Flyers have pretty much had like single-digit % chances to win, and they've still come back in the final seconds in overtime in Game 1 for Clan Blitz, and here yet again, pretty much the end of regulation as CBG was just in the perfect spot, 3 players in the 4th being found onto Soul, the only issue that Firefin Flyers would have had completely removed from the equation, and just I'm at a loss for words for this one, so...
Oh, yeah, and I mean, really, what was the game-winning decision here was CBG choosing to have the patience to draw in that arrow spray before getting the pick. The teammates collapse on the other side on that Hydra. I mean, that was the moment right there when you're panicked and you're trying to get that lead back, you might just make the mistake of grabbing the Rain and barreling right into the arrow spray. But notably, that player, that Wellstring player, did not do that, had that moment of clarity to hold back, allow the opponent to make the mistake, and then they were able to rush forward and get that lead. Now, we're talking as if the set's over. It's not. We do still have a Game 3 coming up. Zones on Mako Mart. That's going to be an interesting one. And again, with these teams, with this group so close, this one could be crucial for seeding.
This is what we expected when coming into this. We mentioned both these teams were 1-1. They had similar win-loss records for their games, and both of these have gone to absolute nail-biters. So this Game 3 is still a toss-up between both sides. If I'm not mistaken, I'm taking a look at the Sendu chat here. We will be having a substitution for Auburn Orange, so they could be showing us a little bit of a different strategy here, especially with it being Zones Mako Mart. I mean, what are the key factors for this map, Sofa, do you think?
I mean, the Hydra is going to be powerful here again. Now, when I used to play competitive way more often, we had a Hydra player on our team, and one thing that he would always say was that he's good to play virtually any map mode combo unless there's an E-leader. And that is something that the other team has not really pulled out as a hard counter to say, hey, we've got something that's even longer range than that. So I think that especially on zones, the Hydra is going to be a problem once again that must be conquered, similar to how it was in Museum. On Rainmaker, you can kind of just rush and dink and dive and get to a place where the Hydra can't quite hit you. But on Museum Clams and Mako Zones, that's always going to be a factor that you have to deal with, is that opposing backline. The
interesting question that I want answered for this one is, will Auburn Orange kind of stick to that very paint-heavy comp that they had in that previous game. I mean, if there's any mode to do it, it's in the mode where you have to paint a lot, Splat Zones, and we saw double Booyah Bomb with that gold Aerospray. If there's any time to use it, I mean, it would be in the zone map, because you had Auburn Orange's strength really being their ability to control space and take it faster than what Firefin Flyers is able to kind of poke back, because you saw at the beginning pretty much 4 minutes of that you had Auburn Orange controlling the tempo. That's what I want to see out of Auburn Orange for this one. Continue to control that tempo, and that's really what Splat Zones really leads to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, throughout these games, like you said, that's been their strongest trait, right? Is being able to control the tempo of both of these games. So when it's the most important factor in Splat Zones, you would expect that they would shine here. I think that they will. I think that they'll make this a tight 2-1 set at the end of the day. And of course, we do see that Hydra coming back out. Jirachi on the Wiper has, I think, been the X factor offensively for them. I'm interested to see them continue.
Yeah, those hammers have hit true, and the substitution, I believe, is coming out for Auburn Orange, just really with that pro to give Mayday a little bit more of an opportunity to shine, showing a different Rinko here with that mid line, a little bit more range to deal with what Firefin is running with that Nautilus. But off rip, you have Ready on that Wiper, getting in the back line of Auburn Orange, and here comes that deadly pinch with the specials coming out. They could find Mayday as well, and they will with an opening 3. Really nicely done from them.
And, you know, I love that target selection of trying to take down the Hydra first as they get a Zuka pick, a Zuka double. Oh my gosh, they're just keeping Auburn in their spawn at this point. They're choosing the right targets, the right order of targets to go after to maximize the comp that they have, which is really nice. Now Jirachi's going to get stuck along the side here. Wiper v Wiper is going to get picked by Ready. Ready is going off and is trying to lead their team to a knockout and a sweep. Is going after the Hydra yet again. These strikes are pushing them back. Rocket, oh my gosh, I mean, it could be over for Auburn right now.
Booyah Bomb and the rain will come in to at least save the zone, however, and that's what you need to do if you're on the side of Auburn Orange, just to save that one. But it's good on Firefin Flyers just to force those specials out, and they're right back in business. They're right back in that zone sofa, and here comes another Zuka on that left side from the Wiper just to poke away. You have Rady just still there, still alive, and still an annoying presence to deal with, but not to be outdone. Jirachi, their Wiper counterpart on the left side, will open the door for Auburn Orange to get into the zone.
I love that. The moment that the other players of Auburn can take this team's eyes off of Jirachi, Jirachi will make something happen. Now Sprout is kind of stuck in the corner. Oh my gosh, this Booyah forcing him into mid into a very dangerous position, but no, instead getting a pick on Mayday, and now numbers will go back to Firefin as they do have some specials at the ready to try and keep this offensive push going. Their Wiper, though, going down off screen. 2 more down. Auburn wins another fight in neutral. They seem to be doing a better job of now splitting these players up to maintain control. Yet, the zone will go back the other way towards Auburn.
Yeah, Chris Sprout on this, not trying to stay alive from that Booyah Bomb. Really nicely done there. Not only that, they still have that splashdown to utilize if they're dove and if they are in that danger state. But Firefin Flyers have been really nice at, like I mentioned at the beginning of this game, controlling the pace, controlling the tempo, completely conversing what we saw from what Auburn Orange was doing themselves. They are keeping the strong control of zone and forcing these specials out, forcing Auburn Orange to utilize these resources where you kind of have to just to maintain control of that zone.
They do force a jump out there, but they are losing the ink control here, as now Ready's kind of going along the back route again, like we've seen them do so often in this game. A Zuka triple! Oh my gosh, 3 shots, 3 picks there from Ready, and Firefin Flyers are now set up to hopefully grind towards a knockout. That's what they're looking for, as Ready gets another pick coming out of spawn. These ledges, I think, Rocket, are the factor that we did not consider with this talented Wiper player.
Still see them chasing these kills, chasing the hammer as well, almost managing to find that pick before they're taken out, but Firefin Fire still looking very firm, very strong in this, and you have all these specials going out from Auburn Orange, the rain and the double Booyah, so difficult to deal with. You still have Firefin Flyers, though, getting the important picks where it matters most and still holding on despite not having the same amount of painting specials. Silver How has rain available to utilize to get that control of zone, but Firefin Flyers have their own splash to counteract it with those strikes, and when they eventually come back from that spawn, a rain pick will be had as well, as Auburn Orange finally have some breathing room as they tick away at that lead.
And Reddy is trying to make some magic happen in the backline once again, pulling out the Zuka, looking for some Zuka picks. Will only get one this time, traded back out. Now they've got to paint over these strikes from Firefin. Oh, instead they get picked by them as they try and scamper out from their own booyah. That zone is going to go blue once again. 3v3 on the board, but that penalty is going to just make it a little bit tougher for Auburn to get back into this one.
35 seconds left, do or die time. Firefin Flyers aren't quite out of the woods yet. Auburn Orange have the ability to do what Firefin Flyers has done in the previous 2 games and perform a really roaring comeback. 20 seconds left. 2 specials, though, are online for Firefin Flyers to utilize. Those trip strikes and that splashdown utilized right there by Splat will immediately take that zone. Ready yet again, seemingly winning all the one-on-one interactions, finding 2, chasing Soul away with this Hydra, forcing out that Booyah in an unfavorable position. 5 seconds left. Zuka is available, and here they go. They will get taken out, however, but will Auburn Orange take the zone? No, they won't, and Firefin Flyers will get the clean 3-0 sweep off of the backs of a legendary game from Reddy on that wiper.
That was impressive. And you know what I really liked about Reddy's play towards the end of that game there was that they were playing off zone. Now you could go through mid and maybe have a more straightforward lens with which to make those picks, but drawing the Hydra, drawing some of these painters' views off that zone when the zone needed to be capped to continue the game was such a great, smart play for Reddy. Always behind, always taking these off angles here, like we see that amazing Zuka triple to really kind of stop Auburn's push in that moment. I mean, I think that Reddy showed a very high competency in this map in particular, and that was just a game changer for Dayton.
The rest of the team right there with them to support. Chris Sprout on that Nautilus, always somehow alive on that left stack when they were being poked and pressured by Soul on the Hydra, still remaining firm, still alive. Just absolutely bonkers that Firefin Flyers were showing, hey, we're just not, we can win games from start to finish. We don't have to just come back in what seemingly is a miracle. We have the ability to control the game from start from finish, and that's exactly what they did there.
It was nice to see, and it was all about pacing, right? There were some times during that museum game, game 1, where it almost felt as though they were kind of playing scared of that Hydra. This game, it was more like, hey, we're just going to take our off angles, we're just going to play the game at a fast pace. If we get picked by the Hydra sometimes, oh well, we're still going to be able to do our thing. And now taking a look at there, dropping a 20 bomb is Reddy. Soul, a powerful performance there as well, going 12-4 on the back line there. Now going forward for Auburn, you've got a strong defensive team. You build around Soul. I think they're going to be able to do a lot. You can't count them out in this bracket with a team with such a strong backline as that. So I'm excited to see both these teams moving forward, but ultimately it's going to be Dayton who's ending up 2-1 in the Swiss stage.
Yeah, I just wanted to have our wonderful producer Neptune pull that up just to show, because I felt that was a set-defining game. Reddy just woke up and chose violence completely, tearing that what looks like a strong defense apart for Auburn Orange, really never letting them have control of that zone and the rest of their team to follow up as well, just to stay alive and live to fight another day. So GG's to both of these sides as they continue to try to fight for those qualification points, but at least for us, that will be the last match we'll be taking a look at Sofa. Of course, signing off now. I know you don't have social, at least I don't think so, but where can the people find you, at least? What are you doing now around?
Well, that's pretty accurate. Nothing really social media-wise these days, but I do try and commentate sporadically where I can. This is actually my first time on the mic with CCA, so I was super excited to get this opportunity from Neptune. And I just want to say, I don't have anything to plug for myself, but all that you at CCA have built here, the scope, scale, intensity of everything that you're doing here, the engagement from all parties, coming from somebody who's rapidly encroaching upon a decade out of college. I mean, this kind of scene for Collegiate Splatoon would have been unthinkable when I was in school. So it's just really, it goes to show the hard work and effort that has been put forth by everybody in this community to make such a cool thing happen. I mean, you got to appreciate it while it's here, folks. It's such a cool thing for our, our collegiate age students, and to kind of get the next generation of Splat players ready to go. So cool to see. What about you, Rocket?
Yeah, so I guess it's really fitting that you have the CCA Blue Sky plugged right below you then.
There you go.
Because that's where you can definitely go check them out to support this wonderful organization. But at least for me, you can find me at Rocket1 on Blue Sky right below me. You can find me at Rocket_Splat for Twitch. I sometimes stream there just doing whatever I'm doing with my team. Shout out to Neptune, as always, for being our wonderful streamer here at CCA. You'll actually see Neptune here shortly commentating the second block of this with Dark coming up, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for more CCA Circuit Qualifier number 3.
falling, falling, falling. 'Cause we'll start falling, falling, falling. 'Cause we'll start falling.
Yeah, we said we love.
Get ready for the next battle, ladies and gentlemen. They, them, and in between. My name is SPF Dark. We're coming at you live here from IPL to bring you the CCA Circuit Qualifier number 3. But of course, I'm not alone this time around. I'm here joined by a very good friend of mine.
Hello, I am Neptune. It's been a while since I've been on the mic here. I'm not gonna lie, but you know what? I can't help myself from taking a slice of the CCA pie, especially with Division 1 here. We have 2 teams coming out here. Splatlanders from New Jersey Institute of Technology coming back once again here to defend some of their titles. This is one of the more scary CCA teams to my knowledge as well. And now you are going to have on the other side MSU from Michigan State University. It's going to be a battle for the ages here, Dark.
Yeah, no, I'm very much excited. Yeah, and as you mentioned here, we are in Division 1, so we are seeing a lot of top dog teams around here on our stream on this side on IPL, and I'm so eager to see part of the action, see what these teams have been doing so far. And I have been taking a look at the bracket as well, seeing who else we have on today's lineup. You know, obviously I have standouts like PSU Blue, Daybreak, Deckel, and USF Gold, but one important thing that I'm actually kind of missing out on here, and who's not here, is actually Las Criaturas, VCU's own team, who has been back-to-back victory, number 1 champion victories these past 2 qualifiers. They're not here this time around, which I think is going to really shake things up on today.
Yeah, for sure. Having that super VCU team, as I like to call it, being out of the equation certainly makes things a lot more interesting in the sense of, well, who's going to take this crown, as there are a number of people here today and there's multiple sets to be played, and we got to start here on Tower Haggle here. We are loading up here. What stands out to you, Dark?
I think the big thing that stands out is the H3D. That's not a weapon you hardly ever get seen, at least in any sort of mid-level or up. At low levels you might see it there, but that's because people tend to one-trick it. But it does come equipped with the bubbler, so it can be used to try and stall out some points on the tower. But the big issue is that it's a bit of a slower weapon, and on a bit of a slower team with the Tenebella and the Stringer, I'm eager to see what Splatlanders have cooking up this time around.
Yeah, for sure. Splatlanders running that Tenebella with a Wiper here, so there's going to be so much attention being drawn in different directions as Jerry goes absolutely insane, getting these initial picks here, leading the charge for their team, securing this first checkpoint here potentially.
Yeah, using the big bubbler, there's definitely going to be able to secure it without any issue. Now the rest of the Splatlanders are moving in here to see if they can get a pick. No, unfortunately, that H3 does go down. 20 rats using the Zuka, gets another one with the Zuka shot. And now that tower's fully cleared, but not quite. Jerry with the hammer comes in, gets one, gets two, gets out with their lives, and the tower has managed to go down to 44 points remaining and still not going to reset just yet.
Yeah, Jerry doing the hero play there that should not have worked out here, manages to find a miracle with 2 picks on that tower, being absolutely huge, keeping their team alive here and keeping the tower over on this side here. We also do see Ivana Splat getting caught out here as well, but Jerry is just going absolutely insane here, Dark. Can this man be stopped?
I think they're finally going down with an empty ink tank and the missiles on their side, but no, narrowly avoiding with their lives intact. Splatlanders now reset back to mid to try and once again keep the pressure, keep the momentum going on their side, but Jerry does eventually fall down here, and now the tides are turning for MSU Amethyst here. They're looking to try and see if they can convert that pick into a push.
Oh yeah, for sure. You want to convert that pick into a push right here. And Rise over here doing a fantastic job, getting 2 here. Usually I see Bladdershot Pros being a bit more passive here, but Rise is not afraid to fight here, trying their hardest here to try and get as many players down here, as well as get these missiles built up. Turning around for that pick, starting up with the missiles. We can have a potential push here, Dark.
Yeah, things are looking good for Amethyst. A scattering of paint in mid to try and get a push going, but no one goes down just yet. It's a game of neutral to see who can get the initial advantage on their side. But with only the heavy-headed standing on Amethyst, Splatlanders are going to be able to use that boulder to at least get the push going and started. I can't spell popping the Booyah Bomb to scatter the tower, but does not find anyone. Jesse with the ink check gets 2 indirectly, as now Splatlanders are looking very good on their incoming push here.
Yeah, for sure. Splatlanders has been in the driver's seat for most of this set right here. It just feels like every time MSU tries to get something set up here, there is a response, there is a special click, there is just something that's happening that just prevents them from going forward here. But MSU coming up with a response, 3 down here, looking to start a push of their own here. I Can't Spell is moving up here, trying to get them soda for the road here as well. And let's see what they can do here, Dark.
Yeah, Amethyst now looking to try and get things under some semblance of control. 2 minutes remaining in this game, and they've only scored 3 points on their side. It's going to be a tricky situation to get anything going here, but it's a bit of a madhouse as there's just constant fighting throughout this mid here. 2 down on each side, but Amethyst is going in with the tower, trying to extend their points as best they can, but 3 going down on the tower from Jerry means that that push is going to go down to with a wipeout.
Oh my goodness, a wipeout here is not what you want to see if you're MSU here, especially when you don't even pass that first checkpoint here. Thankfully, the second checkpoint right here is just so difficult to break. I argue this is one of the hardest checkpoints in the game right here, but it seems like Wanda Splat has some plans to break through using the Zuka right here, causing a numbers disadvantage, and now setting up the 10 Umbrella to have basically a sponge on this tower to hopefully clear it here, Dark.
Yeah, I mean, good usage of the Ink Zuka there to clear I Can't Spell so they can actually extend their lead even further. But now, with 1 minute remaining, MSU Amethyst are looking to try and regain control once again. Booyah Bomb is at the ready for I Can't Spell, who's on the aggressive. You're trying to use anything they can to keep Splatlanders push back as far as they can, especially with Tactical 2. They're looking to try to re-engage as best they can, but Jerry with the hammer gets narrowly avoids I Can't Spell, who does go down for the 1-for-1 trade, and all madness breaks down in mid with only 30 seconds remaining.
30 seconds remaining indeed, and MSU has their back against the wall here, but hey, to make diamonds, you gotta be under a lot of pressure, and I imagine there's a lot of pressure to make something happen. We're 3 down here! The last one comes out with the Zuka here, and 20 Rats, securing a huge advantage for their team right now, but how much can that advantage hold when 2 of your members are down, and you're being rushed down from all different angles here?
Yeah, that was such a good opening from Amethyst to potentially get the dream alive, but no, Splatlanders respawns back with their own bastion of defense and takes down Amethyst with ease and secures this first game.
Oh my goodness, Dark. What a fantastic first game to start, because between Jerry doing stuff with the wiper and MSU coming out roaring at the end right there, they don't care. They will secure game number 1 here on tower, and wow, we just gotta look at that replay here. I think that wipeout was just absolutely insane at the end.
Yeah, I think things were looking really good for Amethyst here, but I think 2 of their members were just a little bit too overeager on that initial push, getting caught up instantly as that tower hasn't even passed that first checkpoint yet. A little bit of overextension just really sprouted into their downfall here, as Jerry was able to come in and clean up with these 2 picks, just delay and destroy any sort of dreams of trying to re-engage there before that timer hit 0. It just was an unfortunate thing to see.
Yeah, for sure. It was an unfortunate thing to see if you're MSU, but you know what? I gotta give my flowers to Jerry being consistently this rat, for a lack of a better term, coming around here, always coming in for these melees, using the hammer to just always extend and allow their team to get the advantages necessary here as well. But you know what, Dark? It is a best of 3 instead of a play all 3 here. So with Splatlanders in the driver's seat here, let's see what's going to happen here on Robo Ramen here. Is MSU going to have a response for Jerry if Jerry continues to play on the Wiper, or do you think there's going to be something else here at play?
I don't think there should be a reason why they get rid of the Wiper here, especially because we're on clams over zones, which Robo Ramen is run a lot with zones. I think, yeah, that Viper is definitely going to stay, because that hammer being able to open up a good leading push to the clam basket, especially with how tight that quarter is heading up to the clam basket. You can set yourselves up pretty good if you lead in with the hammer here, and we're going to see exactly how these two teams make a breakaway. And I do notice MSU Amethyst bringing the Decapitator this time around as well.
Yeah, the Decapitator is, I know some 10 players. They hate this thing. They call it the cheater gun. It does everything here. They think it's one of the worst matchups in the game here for essentially having a bubble, a suction bomb, as well as a really large one-shot gun radius that's able to just threaten you so quickly. But you can definitely see it's a bit of a scramble in mid already here. The shooter's shooting it out right here with specials being tossed all through the kitchen sink right here. But Rise continuing to live through it all, poking enough, just not quite getting the finishes here. But there is space to be secured here, Dark.
Yeah, MSU Amethyst does have a huge control of mid and slowly encroaching on Splatlander's own territory. They're using the Ingzuka, gets a pick. 20 rats now looking to try to see if they can get their second victim here so they can deposit these power clamps into the clam basket. 10 minutes looking to clear the way as well. Water Splat goes down, Rise gets the pick and looking to try and throw the power clamp so they can make that path cleared. And one by one, Splatlanders falls. MSU Amethyst slowly takes the space and takes the first power clamp of the game.
Oh my goodness. MSU just said, I want revenge for tower control right here, right now. Starting out really strong with the opening here, putting so much pressure on the Splatlanders to have a response right here. It seems like Splatlanders, every time they've thrown out a special, it has been responded to accordingly. And we also see a Decapitator having the bubble here, slowly sharking their way out, Dark. Let's see what's going to happen here, because I feel like something big's happening soon.
Yeah, Splatlanders getting some momentum on their side, getting one initial pick now, but I Can't Spell unfortunately gets blocked by the 10 Umbrella and does not pick up that second pick there for MSU Amethyst. Now there's still a neutral game here in mid. Inkjet from Jesse comes out to try and get some picks, but no, it's just constant spacing, constant trading of specials, of players, of spacing. No one has broken the wall just yet. A nice pick from Jesse with the stride stringer, though, does mean that there could be some additional space here from Splatlanders to get everything going. Jerry using a hammer gets one before it gets taken down.
My goodness, Jerry just every time gets so close to getting the advantages that we saw on tower control here, but now it's having trouble seeming to replicate it. It seems like we just have the members of MSU being on high alert here to understand that this Viper, once it's in, it will get in. But hey, you know what? Clicking multiple specials at once, that is one way to try and get your way in. Water Splat, bazooka to the face right here, already looking away secure, and now here comes the 10 shield walking forward here. Let's see what could happen to your Dark.
Yeah, I know that tent shield being a good path to get to the clam basket without any issue is a real gem in Splatlander's side, but I Can't Spell recognizing that threat, goes for the 10 Umbrella player and gets them picked out. 2 down now for Splatlanders, because MSU Amethyst recovers from that initial push against Splatlanders and now looking to try and pit up mid, hold up mid as best they can. The lead is actually still in their favor with only that one power clam and one additional clam deposited, and the rest of this game being a relative stalemate. Things are looking good for MSU Amethyst if they can keep this tempo up.
Yeah, for sure, but definitely a game's not over till it's over here, and it's going to start this push here for Splatlanders, getting that push with that jetpack here, having the 3 members picked off right here, but it seems like I Can't Spell has been ratting around and jumps out perfectly in time to be able to secure their life and stabilize for MSU. Dark, I'm out of the shock.
It's only in Division 1 where you get these crazy plays like here. And man, oh man, as the time ticks down, you starting to see this desperation from Splatlanders. They are recognizing that MSU is looking to just try and stall this out for as best they can, for as long as they can. So the Splatlanders are looking to try and play a bit of a more slow and steady game, slowly choking them out on the resources. Amethyst gets 2, with now that huge opening from the Splatlanders. MSU Amethyst are looking to try and stop the push, and a wipeout does it with ICAT Snow in the back, like completely nullifies that push, and now they're rushing in to try and meet Splatlanders in the incoming.
Yeah, for sure. Just roaring back with a response right here. You might be down, but you're never out, is what I like to say right here. But hey, it looks like every time someone tries to make a play, it gets answered back immediately. Oh, you want to poke forward? You want to push me? You want to get a pick? Oh, well, you're going to go down with me somehow, some way. And with 3 specials online for the Splat, and Wanna Splat being over here, with gathering this basket right now, let's see what can happen here, Dark.
Yeah, 15 seconds remaining. 2 players down for MSU. Amethyst tries to go, and the inkjet being used to create the space they need to close the distance and potentially get this power clam into the clam basket so they can get an overtime scenario. The clam basket is open up. Can they get 1 clam into the power clam? No! And wipe out at the end of the game means that MSU Amethyst holds on here with just 1 clam lead and takes the set 1-1.
Oh my goodness, Dark. I am at a loss for words. Just, wow. Just... MSU had an answer, and they showcased it in this game. They played scrap for scrap, pick for pick, situation for situation, scrambled around, but also played for the stability that they needed so dearly, that they needed in that tower control game. And that stability at the end, with the jump outs, being able to just get those picks and trade out accordingly, allowed them to be in this game for as long as they could.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was just so amazing to see. MSU Amethyst knew the exact win conditions they needed to die there, and they didn't overly commit to a lot of these fights. They played it slow, they played it steady, they poked it out until they were in the proper positions to just put them into a checkmate scenario. And with that wipe at the end, they did put Splatlanders in a checkmate. And now 1-1. We're now going to be seeing who's going to be taking this game number 3 here. Humpback Pumpjack Rainmaker.
Oh my goodness. So here's the thing. I talked to some bow players, right? They're pretty relaxing and chill people, right? But the second you see this main mode come up, they become an entirely different person. It's like a werewolf, at night. They transform into something that cannot be stopped. Popping this Rainmaker, continuously taking names, stopping that Rainmaker with usually the Mist Kit as well, because if they do switch over to that Toxic Mist Kit, getting through that left chokehold on elbow is going to be even more of a pain than it normally is here, because you need to invest so many resources, so much time, so much body and manpower to get through it, that it's going to be a slugfest. I want to see these teams just trade out pick for pick, like in that Clan Blitz game here as well, and see who can get the leg up here. And maybe if we're feeling a bit fancy, we can go on the left side here, like the last qualifier, but I don't know. Did you like having seen that fancy left push or no?
I don't know. This map's weird, because
I love that response. This map's weird. Why are we playing this?
No, I mean, it's so hard for me to say, because I'm like you, Neptune. I don't really play the game that much, because watching the game is one thing. Actually playing it and how it feels is a completely different thing. So I really can't sort of speak as to what how it might feel, but I still stand on my statement that this map's just weird.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Well, here's the thing, Dark. Even though you're not a competitor and not playing this game actively, I am, and I can also confirm this map is a weird map. And the more weird stuff you pull out, the more stuff that can potentially go wrong, that can swing the game here. And I'm all here for it here in Division 1. Let's see what gets pulled out, what gets done, and who will come out on top and move on to the next round of this single elimination bracket.
Yeah, it seems that we don't have any major changes. We do see 2 V shots on the field, which I find very interesting, as both these 2 teams make a breakaway for this crucial first pop here in mid. Splatlanders does take it, and now looking to try and poke out and keep Amethyst out of mid for as best they can.
Yeah, for sure. It already seems like the paint advantage is going to be in the Splatlanders' favor here. Already picking up that Rainmaker relatively early here with that pick secured here. And going to make a breakaway for this first checkpoint right here. Missiles are going to be able to come out here as well. But it seems like it's going to be a very dicey situation here. But they do manage to defend it here with that jetpack here. Wanna Splat is going to be able to secure. And Jesse getting a huge pick here. Gets another one with the jetpack here. This is going to be some insane points here, Dark.
Yeah, the speed's not letting go for Splatlanders. They got the opening they wanted. That opening gambit is huge with special combination there. Jesse going in, gets the 1 point remaining. Oh, just a close to the knockout. MSU Amethyst just utterly just getting pushed back to the very brink here. But their backs against the corners. They're still alive. They're still in this game with a virtual wipeout. That's a crucial opening for Splatlanders.
Splatlanders coming out strong with an opening. Just, oh, we might have messed up that Clam Blitz game, but let me just get it to one real quick. You know how these commentators, they say it's a near knockout situation. Well, you have to knock out now if you are MSU, and knocking out on this map in particular is one of the most difficult tasks that you are asked to do. But I can't spell with this hammer, looking to make something happen, but getting shut down by the splatter shot on Splatlanders.
Yeah, and now the Splatlanders picking up the Rainmaker once again. They're looking to try and just zone things out. They have all the tempo control in their favor. With that 1 point remaining, they know that the only way they can lose at this point is by a knockout. So they're looking just to try and stall out game, stall out time for as long as they can. But those crucial picks from the Zuka from 20 Rats means that they're looking to try to get things going once again from MSU Amethyst.
Yeah, for sure. But it seems like the attention is being pulled in too many directions. One direction see a Tenebell, the other direction see a Wiper. You don't know which one you want to deal with if you're the Rainmaker right now, so you're just going to have to back up right now and hope your team is able to cover your areas here as well. But we do see Rise pushing up here, trying to make something happen here as well. But look at this, 2 members down. Splatlanders has specials online and is looking to make a push of their own here to secure mid.
Yeah, mid is a bit of point of contention right now. It really dictates a lot of your pushes and a lot of your pulling power. And now we see Amethyst down 1 player. Splatlanders looking just to keep things under their control. They don't need to over-aggress. Their job at this point literally is just to keep MSU Amethyst in check. Especially with that first checkpoint still up 3 minutes into this game. They're doing a very good job of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they definitely just need to keep the Rainmaker in check here as well. The first checkpoint is broken, but that's just only the first step right now. You got to be able to push it through that right-hand side. And, you know, there is an opportunity to bake that right now. I do see 20 Rats looking for the Zuka play right here, clucking it right now, hoping to find one, but a jetpack immediately in response here. This Rainmaker has been sitting in mid for a good 30 seconds to a minute, and I don't think it's going to be moving anytime soon, Dark.
Yeah, no, Splatlanders have no incentive to pick up the Rainmaker again for the rest of this game here. They just need to make sure they, like I said earlier, make sure the MSU Amethyst just can't pick it up here. But they do manage to pick it up and get that first pick, a checkpoint out the gate here. And a huge throw from I Can't Spell keeps their backline in check. Means that Amethyst could potentially keep this momentum going into their favor here. Splatlanders are now starting to lose their footing here as we see Inkzuka come out once again from 20 Rats to try and clear the space, but doesn't find anyone. The Inktek now coming out from Splatlanders means that looking to try to control the space as best they can.
Yeah, for sure. Trying to keep control of this space is so difficult, especially with a jetpack coming out. There's a 10 umbrella in your face. Everything is just trying to be shoved in the kitchen sink, in that elbow, and that's what we were talking about earlier. It's so difficult to push, but missiles, a consistent displacement special, is perhaps going to start something here. But no, hiding in the 10 umbrella guy to jump out. It gets called out here, Dark. But how much can you call out when you have less than a minute left?
Yeah, no, things are looking a bit dire for MSU Amethyst. Splatlanders are just bunkering down and holding up as best they can. 2 going down, though, from MSU Amethyst. Splatlanders, look at this, baby, this is their game to lose here. If they play their cards right, they can absolutely steal this game away from the Splatlanders. 2 players down, MSU Amethyst using their hammer to clear the space, clear the area, but it's not enough. Froth, unfortunately, can't close the distance. Copy the Rainmaker, 20 seconds remaining. I do believe that's going to be game, set, and match, Neptune.
That is going to be game, set, and match here, especially with Wada Splat taking it on the right side right now, resetting all the progress, everything in the kitchen sink that was tossed just 20 seconds earlier. All does not mean something, but wait a random pick from Grats coming out here. Now it's just got to pop this Rainmaker if someone can make it to it, but no. Oh. A dagger. A dagger in the heart, bro. A dagger in the heart. Oh. Oh. My heart. My heart.
that could have been a glorious comeback from MSU Amethyst, taking the Rainmaker out in the final 2 seconds of the game, forcing it into overtime, probably causing Splatlanders to shake up a little bit from this Emmy game here. But unfortunately for them, the Splatlanders kept their cool, kept their heads in the game, and made sure that they didn't spiral out of control from that initial shakeup, especially almost losing it here in mid before overtime was called. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness is... Yeah, oh my goodness. Can we just talk this out, Dark? Just break it down. What happened here? What the heck happened? Just look at this replay over and over again while I do my production things.
Yeah, no. I think what happened here was Splatlanders really hit the jackpot in their special coordination against MSU Amethyst, and unfortunately for Amethyst, they just kept getting picked off one by one by these back-to-back specials, Jesse opening up with the Inkjet before converting it to Wanda Splat with the Inkzuka. Then once that Inkzuka was put out, we saw the Hammer come in to clear the space even further. It's just it's just pure coordination here to really open it up, and it's unfortunate for Splatlanders' sides that they got stopped there, and the MSU Amethyst did have the chance to try and take this game there. I think this opening gambit from Splatlanders really just sealed their fate.
Yeah, for sure. The opening gambit was the dagger that just basically set the pace of the entire game right there, where, well, you have to knock out and just have a response, essentially, and just that entire time, if you're MSU, it's just like there's so much pressure to make something happen, right? And they did definitely have a good attempt there, especially at the end there, but it just wasn't enough. A full push to a knockout is just too tall of an order, too tall of a mountain to climb. Just, oh my goodness, Stark. But we do have our next set here on Division 1 here. You want to read out these names here, Faray?
Yeah, we do have coming up in our quarterfinals, Death Roll hailing from the University of Florida versus Halley hailing from the University of Texas at Dallas. One of the 2 Texas teams, anyways, here that's represented in the CCA, or at least one of the 2 Texas schools that's represented here in the CCA. And I'm very much, this is one of the matchups that I'm eager, looking forward to the most here, because I'm familiar with Halley with their past runs here in CCA, and I'm familiar with Death Roll with their past runs here in the CCA as well. These 2 teams I'm not necessarily close to them in terms of personal levels, but I'm close to them in terms of just I've seen these teams time and time again in these top positions here, and I'm like, this is a new season, so this is another opportunity to see exactly how they're going to break things down this time around.
Yeah, for sure. Just a lot of familiar faces for me, at least, who's been around the collegiate scene as well. I'm looking at the rosters right now, and the players that are coming out to me right now, I'm talking about Ontos here. Just Ontos has been on a, lack of a better term here, I'm very original by calling it a death roll on the comp scene right now, just going absolutely insane on V/. I'm watching some official cast, or just watching an SOS or just something, and this guy is just molly-whopping people with this bucket. It makes the gun look like what it should be here as well. And another player I think I want to call out Halley is Lost right here, because Carbon Roller, that kind of just warps the entire game around you. You are the main character, and if you are the main character, well, you gotta be dealt with, otherwise, there might be some disaster spelled on the other side here, but we are getting started here. Splat Zones, Barnacle, and Dime here. Take it away here, Dark. What do you see on these team comps?
Yeah, I do see the S-Blast coming out. Nothing that surprising in terms of meta-wise over on the side of Death Roll here. And of course, Halley bringing out the Carbon, as you mentioned earlier. It's definitely going to be something to keep an eye out. But a quick opener from the pencil here against Halley means that Death Roll is able to get good control of the zone here, get those first initial points, and also popping the Crab Tank to try and keep things contested here.
Yeah, for sure. Using the Crab edit instead, because you do have an NZAP in play as well for your cooler option, but it does seem like is getting very scrambly, and the spacing from this edit is just absolutely phenomenal. Being able to shut down that bucket and get another here, and awesome, more like and gaming.
Yeah, no. And Awesome is definitely a name that I have remembered making glorious plays in the past, and seeing them in play once again here. I'm eager to see exactly how they're going to handle things in this new season. Now Deathrow using the Ink Strikes to quickly capture the zone, dealing a heavy amount of a good amount of penalty points to Halley before it's contested once again. But Andrew throwing the Booyah Bomb to try and push Halley back, and now a good position here. Halley unfortunately is sort of forced to clump up here to try and wait out these specials, wait out their positioning, see if they can get the proper picks to get things done. But no, going down from the S-Blast, and it's going for down. That S-Blast is Blaster Gaming.
Blaster Gaming indeed. One direct, one kill. That's going to lead to a huge advantage right here, allowing Deathroll to take the lead here from now. The Slosher is tossing out these strikes here to try and pincer the people pushing up here as well, but it's going to be Sam here on the splatter shot, having an answer back, allowing them to cap this zone right here. You can see E the Power coming out right here. He bravely trying to contest this, but getting called out by the Pencil. Oh my goodness. The Pencil is always the underrated player, Dark.
Yeah, no, Nico, making sure they have the backs of their teammates covered that incoming V-shot there, and now things are looking to keep going back in Deathroll's favor as they did contest the zone, but no, the roller comes in out of nowhere, gets to before getting shut down, and now Halley has control of the zone once again, now looking to try and checkmate Deathroll here, reversing the script from what they always done earlier.
For sure. This Carbon Roller is getting on a field day. They see a jump, and I'm like, that's for me, right? And it's immediately decide to pick out another one here. And that's what is being instrumental here for, Halley right now, is setting up that Carbon Roller to frag out as appropriate right now. But it wasn't enough to keep the lead now, as it's going to be very difficult to push back into this platform right here with the Zuka coming out, but no picks to be found here, Dark.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a tight game right now. 4-point differential. These two teams have been constantly trading back and forth. The zone, the picks, the specials. Halley now in control of the zone once again, but going down from the V-shot, from the Pencil there. The Carbon Roller unfortunately does get shut down as Halley is now looking to try to control things as best they can. And Awesome doing what no heavy edit has done so far and outzone the Pencil. Really a huge swing in favor of Halley, but two going down in the midst of that. Deathroll unfortunately does lose his lead, but are still in control here in mid.
Oh my goodness, it is a scramble for this zone right here, but Halley has all to gain, especially with 2 picks on the zone right here. Going to be able to continue to tick down this clock right now. It's going to be a very difficult situation, but Brioche going absolutely insane right now, getting these picks right now as well, and going to be trying to get the Zuka here at the very end. You have the strikes on zone here, but is it going to be enough? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, game!
Oh man, it wasn't even enough to even contest the zone. Unfortunately for Deathroll, they had a good opener on their side, but Halley, as the game continued on, they started to figure out what they needed to do against them, and it was able to employ those strategies to keep things under control. And unfortunately for them, Halley just kind of, once they got a good solid hold in mid, they were able to just keep things under their control, under their tempo, and let things ride out to the very end.
Okay, yeah, for sure. And that's the most tricky thing about a Carbon Roller, right? I feel like we're like playing a horror game or something. It's October, it's spooky month, right? You know? Where's the Carbon Roller? They just come out of nowhere, gets one, you see the jump kill, that's another, and it's literally just like, you know, like the kick me sign, like that's like often used in like high school movies, that literally a jump that's like right next to a Carbon Roller right there, just, free kill, flick, done, get it over with. I'll stick on the platform here, burn your specials, keep the zone afterwards, and continue to win the fight there. That is the story of Halley in that last game right here. But that is the first game of a best of 3, and the next game, Mako Mart.
Yeah, I mean, this is where things really are kind of getting a bit nerve-wracking for Deathroll here, since we are in a best-of-3 single elimination bracket series now. This means that Deathroll, if they do lose this game here, they're out of the running for the rest of the tournament. There's no secondary placement match for them to place here. No, this is it for them. And with current standings here, this would be actually a huge loss for Deathroll, considering they're second in the current Split 1 leaderboard leaderboard in terms of points against Halley, who's sitting at 10th. This would be a huge boon for Halley if they can get Death Row out this early. So this is going to be a very intense and a very exciting game to watch, knowing what's on the line.
There is a lot on the line here for both these teams. Death Row looking to keep up their roll and streak on the leaderboard, while Halley looking to claim that spot here already. And you see that comp switch already with instead of the V shot, you have a 10 attack coming out here as well. So it's going to be Strike Gaming here as well from both sides as well. We do see specials getting popped right here and bang trades, but they're going to eventually lead to Halley taking the advantage.
Yeah, good opener from Halley means that Death Row is unfortunately on a bit of a back foot here as they're struggling to recontest everything. But as I say that, Death Row's managed to flip this fight, push back Halley back. EAUCD forced out, goes down for a 1-for-1 trade, but Death Row now looking to get things on a roll on their side as they get control of the zone and looking to try and see if they can contest this first checkpoint.
Oh, contesting this first checkpoint is going to be a sentence and a half right here, because a pencil peeking up from there is going to be extremely difficult to be able to hit there. They're forced to click Crab here as well, and you can see all the specials in the kitchen sink got tossed out, but it's going to be Oculus coming out here with the Splatling and the bubble to help secure more here, but it seems like the shooters had said enough is enough, you're going down one way or another, and I think this tower almost crushes the cooler. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, that would have been an unfortunate thing for Halley, but no, the Death Row does manage to take control of the tower. We'll see if that actually ends up being worth mattering much, if any, at all later on in this game here. But no, Andos using the crab save, fighting against the Andrew with the S-Blast here, doesn't find anything, now severely out of position here. Somehow Andrew doesn't get the pick with the S-Blast there. And what's going on in this game? There's just utter chaos happening throughout the entirety of the match. I can't even tell who's winning right now.
I can't even tell who's winning, but it does say on the top leaderboard that Death Row is in the lead right now, but that lead could potentially swap as they get over to this first checkpoint here. We see Strikes and Crab invested already to say, get off that top left. It's my turn to take the tower. Mom said it was my turn to take this tower and take the lead right here. Kenza Blob getting up here, tossing this cooler out just barely quickly here. It's going to be a bit of a dicey play here, but there are strikes to help stall out this checkpoint, and we'll see if that's enough here, Dark.
Yeah, good use of strikes to stall out the tower as best they can. Now resetting back to mid, but unfortunately Halley still has good control here in mid, but Death Row comes in with the flank. Oculus taking one down, now moving up forward very quickly, might I add, to try and make a path for the tower as Death Row is getting set up. Nico using their pencil just to keep things under control with their zoning, but no, Andrew, unfortunately, a bit of an overextension on their end as Death Row backs up, using the tactical to try and counteract this incoming push here, but Halley gets one in the swing of things.
For sure, using this bubble to secure this push and stay safe from that Zuka is going to allow a little bit of time here for Death Row to find an opportunity to do something here. You do see the Trizuka get out here as well. A pick on Death Row is going to be absolutely huge here. But hey, you know what? An S-Blast looking at that tower, might as well write your check home and retire.
Yeah, no, S-Blast, as an S-Blast player, seeing S-Blast on a tower control game mode, it's always like you have to be wary of where they're positioned here. And luckily for Halley, though, that S-Blast did get sent back to the spawn area as Death Row is now starting to clump up to try and defend this tower as best they can. Only a 3-point differential right now between these two teams. That first checkpoint is gone, so it could be swung in either way at any point in this game, but Halley does not want to let it go just yet. Get Carbon Roller, Brios gets one, unfortunately gets shut down. Tactical is online for both these two teams, though, so the fight is not going to end here. Joy, yeah, as Death Row unfortunately loses two in the process as Halley re-engages.
Halley is looking to re-engage here as well, but it's just so difficult against the AoE right now. You can see the S-Blast in particular playing a great job playing around the stacks as well, being able to just contest the tower as well as the people underneath it as well. But hey, we have two specials out. We have the Strikes contesting that bubble as well, forcing movement, allowing the Carbon to be able to push, but Strikes and Booyah toss at the tower right now. 1 point difference here. Is it going to be enough here, Dark?
I don't know. They're hanging on by a thread, Deathroll. That gap is not a gap you want to live by here, but they're making it work in their favor. Oculus guns down Brioche with the Trizuka, but you gotta pay attention to the tower. It's slowly inching to that lead swap there, and they know that they gotta get it for 1 point later. Andrew spaces out Arcali, but it's not enough. Arcali now forcing the game here, moving this tower up to try and extend the lead as best they can. 15 seconds remaining. Try strikes is online now. I think this could be a checkmate scenario. Sam gets the try strikes off. We see the timer is counting down. Ben Kensa sitting under the tower. It's a scramble for this tower as we hit it overtime. With the try strikes down, who did the game? What was that?
I don't know. Okay. Have you seen like Roadrunner cartoons? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
This feels like a Roadrunner cartoon skit with just a tower, and the people who are chasing after Wile E. Coyote are just these two teams right now. Just oh my goodness. Just I can't. I can't, Dark. I can't. You know what? I'm just gonna let the replay do the talking right here, okay? Just look at this end game here, because I do not understand what happened here, but all I know is Halley just eventually broke through. Eventually, the ice is going to crack. Things are going to break, and that checkpoint almost going through, and the strikes to finish the tower there is just,
I gotta give props to Sam there for having the will and the nerves to hold on for those strikes for as long as they did in order to wait for overtime to actually get caught before re-engaging there. I think that was the winning play there. Sam just being able to hold on for those strikes for so long. Deathroll knew what was on the stake there. They had no choice but to force the interaction on the tower there. But because of those strikes, they just unfortunately was snuffed out, and the game was stolen from at the end there. And now 2-0 for Halley means that Deathroll is going home.
Yeah, for sure. Deathroll is unfortunately going to be retiring early for this Qualifier 3 as well. And they were one of the big dogs that were seen to potentially take it all the way home as well. And that's just oh my goodness, that is a storyline that I'll probably be telling my kids later on in like 20 years down the line if I do end up with that. But you know what? I just gotta say, just the persistent hammering of the objective just allowed Halley to break through at the end. You saw so many specials get invested both on the offensive side as well as the defensive side. Oh, my strikes get thrown? Well, my turn to throw strikes. Oh, I clicked the crab, I get to throw Booyah on the tower, right? Every single situation where it seemed like I can ride this tower for one more point. No, you couldn't. It was, we were playing this fine line right here, and I felt like Halley just took advantage of the fact that Deathroll kind of turtled up a little bit too much, and that shell is going to break, and it did there, Dark, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of what happened there was Deathroll trying to just keep things alive for as best they can, not playing too aggressively when they should have done their best to at least not only keep their subs alive, but try and flush out Halley as best they could to try and make sure that 1 point differential between these two teams wasn't held as long as they did, because I really think part of that pressure that caused Deathroll to fail there was seeing that 1 point difference and being like, we can't let that close over, and just sort of tunnel visioning on that point, because after once they closed that point difference, Halley was in a very good position to extend the lead even further, just keep things going into their favor, into their momentum.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Dark, this is gonna be a bit of a reach here, but have you ever watched Fighters, like Dragon Ball Fighters? Right.
Yeah, I'm FGC. What are you talking about?
Okay, I'm sorry for questioning you, okay? Don't kill me. Okay. Dude, I felt like every time you tried to touch that tower, dude, and just like, that last point that got pushed there, dude, I just can't help but think of Future Truck. It's like, you need to be stopped. And it's just, everything got tossed at that tower, and it just barely crumbled, just the lead for Halley. Oh my god, that was... Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah, I think this definitely was an upset in terms of Deathroll versus Halley, because Deathroll definitely want to keep the momentum going in their favor for Halley to show that they're not going to let things go down without a fight, and they took it home here now. And now moving on, all eyes is going to be on our tally as they're moving in later on in the bracket. But with that being said, though, we are still waiting on another one of our matches to finish up here. So we'll be moving on to a quick break before we head to the semifinals. So don't go anywhere just yet. Get your food, get your snacks, get your water. We'll be right back after this break.
If you let me walk away, maybe then we'd lose it all. No. Who am I to let you
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Full steam through the setbacks. You can't win them all, but I'm proud I tried. Glad we had a dialogue. It's good to shape the mind. Speeding up the pace, turning up the heat. Where I need to be for the first time. I'm taking risks. I'm casting off without a lifeline. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, Zayden, Thanos in between. My name is Dark. I'm here with Neptune, and we're here in our semifinals match. We got PSU Blue, the one and only Penn State University team, versus Reef Runners, Cal Poly yeah, help me out, Neptune.
Pomona. Potato. Patata. Kuda Batata.
Yeah, they're gonna love hearing this as they're watching it back, by the way.
We're gonna be put on a stick and like burned to death, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, we're back. I'm very eager to see how this match runs out, because I mean, PSU Blue, anyone who's watched CCA and doesn't know PSU Blue, right? They're new heads. So to fill in some of the blanks, PSU Blue has been one of the most dominant teams in CCA as of recent years and recent seasons. They've been really on a big win streak as from the last 2 seasons, even over the summer. And so they're definitely a team you had to keep an eye out. But as a first qualifier, they got second only to Las Criaturas, and they didn't actually play in the second qualifier. So now we're seeing them again here in the third qualifier, see how they do.
Yeah, for sure. Going into the qualifiers once again here as well. Taking the first one, second place, now participating in the second one here, and looking to potentially punch their ticket for both these teams to secure their grand final spot as well as their final spot for the finals. Okay, I just said finals like 6 different times, bro. I need some more material. Okay, I need a drink, some band-aids, and maybe just a little bit of ice cream. But you know what? We're getting started here. Rainmaker on Manta Maria. You've seen it before. You've seen PSU. Blah 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 blah. Archaley gone, but wait. Why did I say Archaley? Reef Runners here.
Oh, this will be a great. I mean, this will be the beginning of a great match here. Either way, I mean, PSU Blue, nothing new on their side. They're running the tried and true Explosion with Drain Money on the brush here, and on the side of Reef Runners, something a little bit not necessarily unorthodox, but a little bit more out there with the Roller and the Wiper and the Dreadringer. Though I don't know how well those weapons synergize that well, since PSU Blue was able to take that first checkpoint immediately.
Yeah, for sure. You see Vapor already barreling towards that first checkpoint immediately and looking to get a little bit of pressure here. They have the splashdown as well to continue, and the Wiper does toss their hammer, but Vapor is going to live through it all, being that so important anchor in PSU. But a Reef Slider sees a pick off too, while Vapor is still alive, looking for another game, a triple! Oh my goodness, Dark!
A triple from Vapor Snow, picking up the Rainmaker, getting shut down by Red Rum with the pencil there. 2 points remaining on their side. Reef PSU Blue knows the momentum, knows the situation. They are not going to let this go without a fight, though, as PSU Blue still keeps momentum in their favor.
Yeah, for sure. It's just so much to take care of. And oh my goodness, you're forced to drop that fish back into the sea here, so it resets back here. Vapor's going to just be the one hammering it back home here as well and picking it. But we have Snow setting up a shark here as well. I've never really got a chance to talk much about Reef Runners, but it just seems so difficult for them to break through with the comp they want to set up. And that Rainmaker shutting down that Reef Slider. This is a beatdown, Dark. No way to put this nicely.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're wondering why PSU Blue and why we mentioned PSU Blue being such a dominant force in past seasons, you're seeing exactly why. There's something that PSU Blue does with the X-Posture as their anchor workaround. It just works, and just like that, PSU Blue is able to take this first game without too many issues, right? I mean, it's no pass at Reef Runners, though. They're Division 1 for crying out loud. They made it this one in the bracket for a reason, and they're high in the leaderboard as well. I think they're only in 11th in the leaderboard for points, right? So they're a really solid team, but it's just PSU Blue is PSU Blue.
PSU Blue is PSU Blue is one of the most true statements I have ever heard in all of CCA, except for the fact that they're yellow, because that's how Sendo puts them on there. I would have put them on the blue wing, to match up properly, but no, I do not have the power and capabilities of handling that. That is outside my control today, but you know what is inside my control? It's these scenes right here, and they're not loading properly. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It's going to be Hagglefish on Splat zones here today. And if anything, my question is, how can Reef Runners answer? Because I felt like they had a whole comp revolving around a Splat roller and setting it up. You know, you have a pencil, you have a dread, giving just unga bunga paint, right? just there's so much paint, so much the Reef slider to cause instant pops right there. You have a wiper to cause attention as well, so the roller is basically set up for success. But what PSU did was just say, nuh-uh, you don't get to play the game. I'm going to sit up here. I'm going to watch these areas. I'm going to shut you down every time you try to make a play right here. And it was just honestly just very brutal to watch, bro. I don't know. Is this PG? Can we show this?
Yeah, no, it really goes to show PSU Blue's own coordination and just their team play there. You have Vapor holding it down with the Exposure, keeping decent paint with that weapon there, and just the divide and conquer playstyle from V, from J Money, from Snow. It just really is an amazing thing to watch unfold. And I think if you're Reef Runners, you had to rely on weapons that could really upkeep their special output. I think that's your really true answer to keep things up in tempo in your favor, because PSU Blue, even though they have the Explosion on their side, they are a fast team, so you had to find something that can match that speed.
Yeah, for sure. Vapor is probably one of the most aggressive backline players I've ever seen. Some people call him a midline sometimes, and I think that's accurate at times, which is how far up he is, just putting up pressure. But it seems like we're going to see some comp changes. No more pencil. Hello, NZAP.
Remake.
You didn't see anything, chat. You did not see anything, but you know what? Yeah, just they're gonna get subs for this game real quick here in the meantime. But Dark, let me just talk a little bit more about how do I say it? Just what was I gonna talk about? Jesus. Okay, I lost my train of thought right there. See, I had a thought. You ever have a thought and just it gets lost because you were thinking about other thoughts? Just being an overthinker is like the curse that I have unfortunately been blessed with. Being on this earth here, but what you know what? Can you relate? No.
I don't know actually. I do have a tendency to think really fast. And I don't know if that actually has been a boon against me though. I think my friends could answer that for me easier than I could. But yeah, no, there's this. It's not really entirely your fault though, because PSU Blue, that last game, was moving really fast, and I genuinely was kind of getting a little bit lost there.
Oh man, a bit lost in the sauce. Curse of the Yap. Something else. Something. CCA Division 1 second.
Oh,
game.
That's a pick.
Oh, we're playing the leader today, Dark.
Yeah, it looks like the Reef Runners looking to try and slow things down as much as they can. That Eagler being a very slow and heavy weapon in terms of just gameplay and what it wants to do means that it's up to the remainder of Reef Runners to hold the line from the hyper aggression that PSU Blue employs to try and keep things in a neutral state at the very least. But it doesn't seem to be working too well, as PSU Blue does manage to get the first few points on their side before Reef Runners does take control of the zone once again.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like Reef Runners is able to be a little bit more comfortable here on Haggle, as it's a lot easier to see what angles that can come from PSU and get pushed from. You have that mid lane, you have the right, you have the left right here, and you're trying to set up your leader here at the end of the day here. You have the strikes going out, but you do lose your roller in the process. But now PSU, they're going to start to push with the whales. They have a Zuka to extend right here, and Vapor is going to be moved up right here, putting out so much pressure and picking off that leader. But roller for roller, it's not going to be enough. PSU getting a massive wipe out here, Dark.
Yeah, no, PSU Blue knew exactly what the win condition for that fight was, and they did exactly just that, using the Zuka to take that E-leader, and the Reef Runners is going to fall apart in the process of that. But a good pick here from Squid Kid there to get things and some semblance of control, pack that with the tri-strikes on the zone, and they can get that flip almost instantly, and they're back in mid like nothing had ever happened.
Yeah, for sure. I saw J Money looking for something potentially on the left-hand side, but creatively backing up right here, getting a pick with the wheel, but going down to the curling bomb right here. Unfortunate, cannot begin to describe the situation. That brush went through here as well. But hey, you know what? We're still on the zone. A jump gets called out here. It was Vapor jumping in, but now it seems like it's going to be a favor here for Reef Runners.
Yeah, no, now Refunders having some semblance of control in this game. They know now the E-Leader is their win condition for PSU Blue. They know that for Refunders, their win condition is to get Vapor away and out of this game. And they do manage to do that 2 down going for PSU Blue. Refunders needs to recapture this zone here, but be on the back line, see if they can get a pick note before jumping out. It pulled some attention from the front line at the very least to enable PSU Blue to get some setup once again.
Yeah, for sure. That was a beautiful bomb pick on that crab, just stopping the zone cap and allowing potential thing here. But an unfortunate pick there on the splatter shot is going to leave 1 point remaining here. Not going to be able to pull the lead. And now you just dump all the specials in the kitchen sink if you're PSU Blue, and things should die and explode right here, right now. But hang on, I think there's a problem with the script here, Dark. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, no, Refunders was looking very good, very solid there to actually take the lead and get things back under their wake. But no, PSU Blue out of nowhere turns the tide to get things on their side, once again dealing a chunk of penalty points to Refunders. But now the bubbler set up here on this wrap means that they can sit around here, camp under the ledge, see if they can get a pick on the unsuspecting re-engagement here. Reef Side Riders is going to take away the lead though in the process. And now the E-Leader Squid Kid is set up here in mid, so it's going to be a bit of a hard choice to try and push through here. They need a special to push that E-Leader out.
Oh my goodness, I think I see 3 members of PSU Blue on that bottom right here. I think it got called out right here, and now it's just 2 members essentially alive to be able to fend for this zone here as well. It's just barely here. Oh my goodness, Dark, are they going to do the unspeakable? Oh my goodness! Oh my god! Oh my god! Director, I think there's a problem with this script. You lied to me! You lied to me!
Oh, now we're saying things are scripted here in the CCA because PSU Blue unfortunately does lose their first game against the Reef Runners. But if you're paying attention to the bracket, though, this is not the first game they dropped here in the bracket series. They did drop one to RIT Orange in their previous set, so things may be a little shaking up for PSU Blue right now. But I'm sure they can get their stride back here, moving to game number 3, Undertow Spillway. But man, Reef Runners knew exactly the win condition was, though. It was to take care of Vapor, get them out of the game for as long as you can so they can actually reposition and hold the line against the other 3 fast members of PSU Blue.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the end play was just the dagger at the end, because when you play on Haggle, right, normally you want to just like send usually 1 person on a flank and then like mainly focus on your core. That's like the most traditional home recipe style of taking back that whole area of control right there. But if PSU tossed not 1 but 3 players onto the right flank, and the problem with that is, well, who's there to clear court, right? The people, the members of Reef Runners that were just sitting there on that court there just kind of saw that and be like, oh, you want to fight us from low ground? Sure, right? I'll take that instead, right? I see where the brush is too, so it's like very obvious that like if they're over there in the bottom there, then well, they're not going to be in the core area. The only person that can really do anything was maybe Vapor, and just Vapor can only do so much. He is unfortunately human. Like a lot of players in this game.
Yeah. I think as many of us want to be the big shot, just people who play this game and are like at the top and like make no mistakes, you really can't do that. And it's an unfortunate part of being human, and you're gonna have these scenarios here where like there's only so much you can do, again, Reef Runners knew the win condition was to make sure that Vapor can't get properly set up, and it just, once they got that under their control, under their side, they were able to get things really going for their team. So now moving to game number 3, we're going to be looking at tower control, Undertow Spillway. An interesting map at the very least, but something I think the Splatcher can really shine here.
Yeah, for sure. I think Vapor being alive is going to be so critical for whether the pushes succeed or fail for Reef Runners here. Vapor just is such an important part of the defense that like I feel like you need to find a way. Wait a second! Red Drum spotted on Bamboozler, their main! Holy, what am I watching here, Dark?
it's the age-old question of what do you play in a meta sense? Do you play the good weapons or you play the weapons that you're really known for? And I guess to match Vapor's own Explosion, Red Rum brought out something they're most comfortable with, which is the Bamboozler here. And it's going to be a very interesting fight here as Reef is holding a decent job here in mid, keeping things under control here, but PSG Blue just has so much momentum here that they're looking to try and get things going once again.
Yeah, for sure. And I see the comps, I see the vision here. Just every one of these weapons is looking to either play even or trade with PSU at the end of the day, especially with that Tri-Slosher and the Roller here as well. But it looks like PSU is going to start roaring back here and getting these picks, isolating those fights on the right, picking out Redrum as well as the Tri-Slosher right here. Vapor is just happily riding this tower to this second checkpoint.
Yeah, no, a comp that's focused on trades and 1v1s is not a comp you want against PSG Blue because the existence of Vapor, who could just sit back, provide supporting power, provide self-defense with the splash down, like right here, and being able to just get passive points, passive momentum on their side, and a wipeout. PSG Blue is going to be able to take this game 100-0 against Reef Runners. What?
Okay. So, who wrote this script? Like, genuinely. Like, I don't know who, but you are terrible at writing stories, okay? I'm calling you out here. Whoever you are, just, I know you're listening to me out there on the cast, but just, what was that game, Dark? What happened? Just tell me about it.
What happened was PSG Blue just absolutely locked in here because I mentioned this, like, as we're seeing this winning play from BSU Blue, Reef Runners playing a comp that focuses a lot on trading and just these single 1v1s. You can't do that with Vapor on the field. You need someone to be able to displace, to disrupt, to actually get a pick against Vapor, or you can see this exact situation happen. The rest of your team is up in the front line fighting against V, fighting against Snow, fighting against J Money. A lot of these good skirmishing weapons, and a lot of times they do go down the trade, but there's still Vapor riding the objective, riding the tower, pushing it there. And because you're fighting an even game like that, you're just gonna be bound to lose it because Vapor's online here.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of goes back to like my original point was, well, Vapor is the big main point here. Obviously, the other members of PSU are doing their job.
Yeah.
We saw them like pinching, just running it down essentially with the shooters as well as the egg brush. There was plenty of paint on the ground, plenty of specials out there, and honestly, it kind of fit the textbook definition of a perfect tower push in the sense of Vapor was barely contested, right? So when you're that make or break player is just casually strolling along, just waiting at an ice cream truck practically for his order or whatever, just like it kind of just creates this dynamic of, okay, well, the tower is uncontested because we did everything in our power to shut down every advance here, and that is essentially what it became. And that's how PSG Blue locked in and lived happily ever after. Is that what it says here? Huh?
Oh, not quite yet, folks, because we are now in Grand Finals. PSG Blue does move on to Grand Finals, who's going to be going up against Halley here, a team we've already seen going 2-0 against USF Gold, who now USF Gold losing against Halley in semifinals are playing their third placement match against Reef Runners there. So we'll keep an eye on that as this set moves on here. But now we're in the big leagues. This is it, folks. And now, since we are in the big leagues, this goes from a best of 3 to a best of 5. There's another game of wiggle room there to really try and squeeze out your gameplay, your advantage, your just team prowess here.
Yeah, for sure. And at a best of 5, for our grand final setting, it's like milk and cookies, you gotta have a best of 5 with your grand finals of a CCA qualifier. It's just written that way. It's going to be quite the dynamic here, because you look on paper, right, on Halley's the carbon roller, and I'm just thinking, okay, the carbon roller should be able to just play the game, right, against 2 shooters and a brush, right? It should just be frolicking in the meadows, or just some other analogy of just enjoying life casually, right? But PSU just still finds ways to not only answer that a lot of the times in the past, but the question becomes now is, have Arc Halley learned their lesson from past seasons, or have they found a potential way to circumvent, how do I say it, the PSU members from setting up the carbon roller, or just ways that they can enhance the carbon as well? Because it always comes back to, is the carbon winning or is the carbon losing, is when you build a comp around.
Yeah. And I think I'm of the opinion here that Carbon's probably going to be a very tough sell going into PSU Blue. So, simply because Vapor, once again, a lot of PSU Blue's team revolves around making sure that once the Xbox is set up, that it can actually sustain itself and be able to be a menace and a constant power threat. Because the Carbon Roller tries to go up on the backline, flank around, and try and get a pick off against the Explosher. You have Splashdown. At best, you go down to a 1-for-1 trade, and I don't think that's something you necessarily want to do diving a backline, you know? So it's really going to be a very tough sell here, especially going into Clamid's Ink Block Art Academy, which I'm in the personal opinion that is backline favored here.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be definitely backline favored. Clan Blitzing plot here, and I think it's going to be quite an interesting dynamic here, because if And Awesome comes out with that heavy edit as well, because that heavy edit, that last set right there, I was like thinking there was like 3 times where like, oh, you overextended, buddy, you are going to get punished, but then somehow, some way, like finds a pick or anything, just it's a situation where you think of like, well, you have an overly aggressive player that's able to get big bank for your buck right there, and it's just, okay, you know what? I should just shut up, Dark. I think I don't know where I'm going. Where am I going with this?
Where we are going is Inkblot Art Academy Tower Control here. It's definitely going to be
actually Dark.
It's Cloud Blitz. You know what? I just had tower control on the mind because of that last game, because I still haven't actually recovered from that 100-0 that we saw from PSU Blue on that last game here. Cloud Blitz equal Art Academy. I'm very excited to see how these teams are going to be breaking out here. And this is for a lot of the points, a lot of the marbles here for this first split, by the way, here. So it's going to be a question of, can Arc Halley try and push for that top 6 position here? Possibly pushing out Daybreak from that 5th place position that they're currently on, and keep that top 6 position for themselves, or will PSU Blue just shoot down the Dream and keep the status quo here?
Yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting dynamic here. But you know what? These teams are ready to go here. PSU Blue is actually going to be in blue, Dark. This is actually insane news. Like, drama alert. Everything. Just call your mother. This is a legend happening here in the makings right now.
Yeah, we'll see if the blue buff will be good enough for PSU Blue, as Arc Halley now makes a breakaway here in mid. I don't see anything too surprising for either of these two teams. We know at this point what they typically kind of run, and they're looking to stick with it for the remainder of this game, especially for the remainder of this set here, as everything breaks loose here in mid. 2 down goals immediately for PSU Blue, but Arc Halley unfortunately does lose 2 down, but PSU Blue is now at a disadvantage here.
Yeah, for sure. PSU going down a bit early right here, but it looks like And Awesome was trying to get a push up there, but you know what? You still managed to trade out evenly, and the cooler is out here, so this is an opportunity for you to push up here, especially if you're the Carbon, and try and get some picks here as well. And this is going to be a little bit of a dicey situation. Beautiful jump out right there, being able to reset here, but it looks like they're going to be a little bit scrambled for a kill here, Dark.
Yeah, unfortunately whiffing the punish from that hammer there, unfortunately does mean that Arc Halley loses a lot of momentum, a lot of presence here in mid, but they're at least still able to defend their side of the map, their basket here, as Arc Halley now looking to try and see what the best way to approach is here. Splashdown is forced out from Vapor, which is a huge news for Arc Halley, as they're now looking to try and get their own push going, but the clan economy is just not there. With only 8 clans, you only have the power plant. I think the focus should be trying to make sure you have good mid control here and get a bit more clans before getting a push.
Yeah, for sure. Your priority should be build that power clam and get to the basket, right? That's the order of operation since like the start of Nogami. Since Nogami started talking or whatever, you know, just everything you gotta do in clam is thou shall make a power clam and go forward here. But it seems like neither team is very bent on making one right now. Instead, they're scrapping it out right here, looking for the pick. Snow on this gal, looking to play these side angles here to try and potentially start something, but two go down right here. The Carbon gets called out here, and now, wait a minute, is that a shot behind them, Dark?
Yeah, somehow the T-Tech managed to get a flake. We, of course, Sambru is not a good shot player, using a lot of their prowess to get things leveraged into their favor here. And now because of that, the Arc Halley was able to convert that into the clam getting cracked open. And now additional points on top of it too, 54 and counting on your first push of this game. That's been mostly a stalemate. That is a solid opening for Arc Halley here as we head to the halftime.
Halftime indeed, but J Money looking for the flank on the bats. Very ambitious, could have yielded a lot right here, but getting called out by Sam here. Playing the shot like how you should play shot, shutting down anyone that approaches you and taking space when space is opportunity right here. You know what? I play this gun and I just say you made a bad play.
Oh man.
Don't question me.
I mean, it is what it is sometimes here, and I guess it's hard to say exactly what the prop, like, what diverts a good play and a bad play here. PSU Blue now trying to get momentum under their control here. A decent push to get power under their clam basket, on top of the power clam into the clam basket, opens up some points. Can they close the gap at least a little bit and extend and close the lead gap? No, unfortunately, it's shut down. 1 minute 30 seconds remaining, and a wipeout on top of it. PSU Blue is not looking good here.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what's going on here with the script right now, but it seems like Arc Halley has taken over the script writing and is looking to punch a hole and a Zuka shot through PSU Snow right there and just look forward. But hey, hang on. That's a flank right here with the brush, going in with the hammer, getting 3 down on the side of Arc Halley. They are scrambled. Their attention is split right here, and now the economy is slowly going to be in their favor. They're scrambling to fill the ball already here, and now the basket is open once again. Can they be able to swap the lead here, Dark?
It's going to be a tough sell right now, but Vapor comes in, throws the power clam into the basket, and just like that, the tides have shifted in a matter of seconds. 38 points remaining for PSU Blue. What was a struggling game for them now turns into a winning game for them, as Arc Halley now only has 40 seconds to try and get mid, try and push up to PSU Blue side of the map, and try and deposit enough clams to close the distance. But Snow is here just making sure that can't happen, keeping them in a constant checkmate scenario.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my, wait! No! What? No! The power.
That's a knockout, right?
That's a knockout. Yeah, that's a knockout, man. Just I don't know how else to describe it. That was. Replay, please don't break. Replay, please don't break. Okay, we got it. Woo! Oh my god. Okay. Just
insane coordination from PSU Blue to not lose their cools from what was a losing game for majority of that time. Coming in the final few seconds of this game, they were able to close the gap in a matter of seconds and just knocking it out, stealing the victory from under Arc Halley's rug.
Yeah, just stealing it is like just the perfect. This is highway robbery. Like, I don't know how much jail time PSU members are going to get after this, after pulling that off in a Clam Blitz game. But you know what? Crimes are crimes on the battlefield for a reason, because they net you wins, right? ESU Blue took that win in stride right here. There was just so much chaos created from that first initial brush flank. Let's create that power clam. Start sliding in the power clam slowly, one by little. Vapor throws in the power to swap the lead, and now you just had the situation where you're scrambling to just clear the PSU Blue members out. If you're Arc Halley, Snow throws that wall down, and you're like, oh no, he has a wall. I can't destroy it in time. And by the time they're shredding that wall, Snow just scores more power clams. And who comes along but this little old ink brush coming in against this power clam to score and knock it out at the end of the day? That is fiction. But it's reality. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you're rooting for here.
Yeah, depending on who you're rooting for, that was either an upset of a game or a huge victory to kick things off with this best of 5. And now, moving into game number 2, we're going to be seeing Rainmaker Museum Delfoncino, another kind of awkward map mode depending on the kinds of weapons you play. All the attention really, though, is going to be on Vapor once again, since I do believe this is another map mode that is backline favored.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be backline favored indeed as well. Because Museum, this is where your backline shine, and as someone who has played with a pencil player that is very competent on what I enjoy seeing this map mode. But I know PSU doesn't quite like, wait a sec, Snow on V-Dualies? Someone check the record book. I think this is the first time. This is the first time, I think, here on stream at least, that Snow has played this. Yep.
I think Snow's touched dualies once or twice in the past seasons, but it really hasn't been a mainstay on their kit and their weapon rotation here. So it is a bit of a surprising thing to see here, but Vapor going in for a breakaway to try and get the surprise dunk against Halley, but unfortunately is shut down in the process.
Yeah, for sure. It does get shut down here, but hey, Brioche on this carbon, looking to get some names before they go home. But you know what's also a big difference right here is Brioche was coolered as well. PSU is infamously known for not running a cooler as well, so any trades with a cooler is going to be a net positive for them at the end of the day right here. And unfortunately, it just seems like this Rainmaker is at a stalemate despite all these picks going on here.
Yeah, a stalemate here in mid. Both these two teams can't really get proper footing over one another, and it's been 1 minute of this game. The only points was that breakaway from Vapor to get those 8 points to almost getting that dunk there, but not quite. And now both these two teams are playing a game of footsies, a game of neutral. See who's going to crack under the pressure first. J Money in the backline, seeing if they can get a surprise pick with the brush, but no, gets called out as the Rainmaker is popped and now being forced to use the hammer to try and get a pick. Unfortunately, it's shut down.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like they try to initiate a push by Jay doing a play that would net them a kill or two, but every time they tried to get up on top of that spinner, there was someone looking at it and just got shut down immediately. And every time Vapor tries to grab this Rainmaker, it just also follows suit as well. We do have V on this Trizuka here, looking to get some more picks right here and shut down the other shooter players, but it seems like this Rainmaker cannot catch a break as his first checkpoint has yet to fall in this first 2 minutes of the game here, Dark.
Yeah, it's very much a tried and true battle of who will fall under the pressure first. There's a lot of things going on at the same time here. There's constant players you need to look out for, constant specials you need to be on the ear hearing out for, and it's just constant back and forth trading between these two teams. But PSU Blue starting to get momentum and their favor. The crab take to try and put out Spinner, but the crab take from Halley does come out, but it comes a little bit too late. 3 down from Halley. PSU Blue picking up the Rainmaker once again, looking to try to close the gap as quickly as they can. Yeah,
for sure. It seemed like Vapor wanted to cross across the top left right there, but improvising off the plans right there. It's going to be called out by Azuka here from the side of Halley, and now they're going to be looking for a way to respond back here. 43 is still a good score, but it's not something I'd call safe or secure, especially with 2 minutes on the clock here, Dark.
Yeah, and 2 minutes left. That first checkpoint down for PSU for PSU Blue, but the wipeout for PSU Blue, Halley just surprises me in the midst of my sentences. Now things are starting to look very good for them. The crab take does clear a decent amount of space for this incoming push here. Now with tacticals are online, they're looking to try and see how far they can get this push into PSU Blue's own space. A 1-for-1 trade on their side. 2 down for each side, closing to close the gap, and they take the gap with 1 point remaining. That's a huge swing from Halley.
Halley still finds a way to flip the script once again here, but the question is that script going to stay the way forever, or is PSU going to pull a PSU and try and get this pick and turn it around here? But we do see the Trizuka coming out, but in response, Vapor as plays Rainmaker the way a good Rainmaker should, bobbing in and out and just getting on top here. Oh my goodness, that's so ambitious, Dark. What's happening?
Vapor trying to cheese as many points as they can by dropping off the top rope, but unfortunately it's shut down by the Cramtic. And now with 1 minute remaining, Halley in possession of the Rainmaker. They know the win condition here. They don't necessarily need to go on the offensive here. They need to be able to keep a hold of this Rainmaker and keep it safe. I don't know why Cephalopod is going offensively here, pushing it forward, because now the Rainmaker is dropped. UC Blue has another opportunity to be able to pick it up and potentially close out that 1 point gap. Again, a 1 point gap scenario here.
Yeah, for sure, and I can hear the Riptide crowd already, so I'm gonna switch the camera off, okay? And yeah, this is a very difficult situation for PSU Blue. They need to find a way to move that Rainmaker from that uncomfortable spot, because it's just such an easy way for someone to be able to push through, especially with 30 seconds left. Something needs to happen here, Dark, or it's gonna be lights out here for PSU.
Yeah, the unfortunate truth is that Museum Dolphonsino has a very funny Rainmaker spot to try and stall it out. The only way that the Rainmaker is going to get down is if the enemy team who had placed it there picks it up again, or it gets a proper reset. With 5 seconds remaining, the Ink Shield up around the Rainmaker, and 3 down for PSU Blue. I think that's a checkmate for Halley, as there's no one be able to contest it. They're probably the Rainmaker to be able to pick it up, and in a matter of instance, they're going to win this for the second game here.
Oh my god. Okay, you know what? I saw the Trizuka coming out there, and I'm just like, bro, what are you firing at? Like, I get it. They got wiped out. You're just sending a message here, okay? And the Zuka shots that send messages are my favorite ones. Whether they get a kill or they move people, it's the mental that's being tossed right here as well. And PSU Blue dropping another game as well is going to be not quite as indomitable as they might once seem here.
Yeah, we've shown from these past 2 games, past 2 sets, that PSU Blue is not necessarily some of the high and dominant, high and mighty team that the past season might have suggested. Sure, they've been on a massive winning streak here, but they aren't like top of the level teams. You know, there is some counterplay you can do, and it's really a lot of their strength comes around their knowledge check of fighting against something like an explosion or a weapon that really only Vapor has been realistically pushing on a somewhat decent high level scenario here. And now heading to game number 3, Mahi Mahi Resort Splat Zones. I do think this is going to be yet another Explosher favored map.
Explosher favored map indeed. So you talk about Explosher being and piloted and pushed by Vapor a lot of times, and yeah, he is probably the best person in North America that mains Explosher that is actively playing this game. And we're already getting into Mahi here as well. It's my bad. I thought PSU Blue took 16 years to ready up here as well. But you know what? We're going to get right into it here. We see the Gal coming out here once again here to hopefully, I think, locate the Carbon with the Killer Whales here as well. It's double Whale here from the side of PSU. And let's see how that stacks up against double Zuka on the side of Halley.
Yeah, Halley needs to really make sure they're using those Zukas to really keep Vapor in line, in check here. Especially in a position like this, they can't be allowed to get away with such pressure being set up like this. And now PSU Blue doing an extraordinary opener on their side, getting the zone captured and running away with those points. That final player of Halley being forced to jump out, but it is contested for a brief moment. 2 players going down for PSU Blue. Halley unfortunately does not get the recap in time for the water level drop, and now with the water level drop, the map has wide open and things are really going to break out here.
Okay, you know what, Sam? I see you. You got 2 with the Zuka, you get V off here, and you get another one here. I don't know who upset you or who threatened you, but you are out here fighting for your life, and you are doing a fantastic job here, shutting down PSU Blue, having a Zuka in response right here. You're gonna start firing it out here as well to look for a pick as well, and now you're kind of in a situation where you can pull a lead, but how much more lead can you pull?
It might not be that much, with only Cephalopod being the last player standing from Halley's side. And now PSU Blue quick to recapture the zone, quick to get those penalty points on Halley's side, and now quick to re-engage against this re-engagement from Halley. This team fight is a bit of a scramble from both sides here, but it seems that Halley is starting to come out on top, and it's constant back and forth trades, constant specials being used. I can't tell who's coming out on top here.
Well, I can tell you right now, with how the numbers and how the lead is on the penalty on the zone is going to be, it's going to be PSU Blue winning out this fight overall. It seems like they managed to split up the members of Halley and isolate their fights to be able to call them out, especially that carbon roller being flushed out. It just allows the shooters to be able to move up very freely here. You see the killer whale coming out as well as all the specials being tossed out. Halley is looking for a response, but they just can't seem to find it here. Going 2 down here from PSU, but only the edit left alive. This might be the dagger here, Dark.
Yeah, I don't realistically know what our Halley can do at this point to try and stay alive in this game. They can contest the zone, yeah, but PSU Blue has too much painting power, too much specials on. They're ready to be able to contest it there and keep the zone under control. And now 2-1 against our Halley. They're sitting at match point here for grand finals to see if PSU Blue can win their first qualifier of this new season.
Oh yeah, you know what? PSU Blue, I just realized this is grand finals. I'm a great commentator, you know, realizing the stakes that are being involved right here, you know. This is a good moment here for PSU to finally take home their first qualifier win here as well, because the last time they competed in Q1, they got 3-0'd by Las Criaturas here as well. So now that Las Criaturas is out of the equation, we had this question earlier on during our block. Just like, well, who's going to get the crown here? And a lot of people put money on PSU Blue here, but I would not count Halley out, especially on a map mode as volatile as Tower Control Ship.
Yeah, ship-shaped tower control can be so explosive, so snowballing that turns into an avalanche that you have to be so mindful as to what's going on, who's where, because the moment you get an that's a wipeout, things can spiral out of control so fast that you're not even gonna know what happened. I've seen games lost to an early game wipeout so many times on this stage mode that it's genuinely unreal. So, and this not goes to specifically for Halley. This goes for PSU Blue as well. This map is that volatile that I think both these two teams need to be so aware and so cognizant as to what's going on that they can't allow that to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Both these teams here, they've proven like why they're here, right, in grand finals. They fought tooth and nail here to get up here. They know the win conditions. They know how this map can spiral easily, and it's going to be a question of who can control the damage the most as well as deal the most damage. This is just Pokemon VGC. Wait a second.
VGC correlation is not what I expected heading into today's commentary block here, but I guess here we are. Match number 4. We're at match point for PSU Blue for grand finals. Can they punch their first victory here in this circuit season, or are Halley delay it by one more game? Nothing new from either side. Once again, they're extremely confident with what they've been bringing so far, so it's going to be up to the micro to really try and dictate the victors of this game.
Yeah, it's going to be the micro interactions right here that are advantages that are going to allow people to be able to move forward here. And look at that. I saw in the corner right there, 3 members of Halley got called out. And now look at how much paint is in PSU Blue's favor right now. You can get your specials. You can set up in the court. You can click Zuka all day, every day. And now you should theoretically have this checkpoint here, Dark.
Yeah, the crowd take is going to delay it a little bit. Vapor forced to use Splashdown to try and stay alive so they can get that checkpoint checked here. And now moving to this second checkpoint. This is when things can really start to spiral out of control there. Going on the deep end, we see V takes 2 with a hammer, but 2 is down for PSU Blue. They need to make sure they can get the second checkpoint without failing. And the Zuka from Sandbrews means that this push is shut down at the very least for PSU Blue as Halley struggles to maintain control.
Yeah, for sure. Already, you know, getting to that second checkpoint, that is already a pretty good feat here as well. But the question is, will that be the record? Will that be what causes them to win here? But Jay Muddy has otherwise here. You're not getting any more points on this tower here because you're going to get down to this hammer. And 3 down on PSU Blue. Now it's just Vapor as the last one surviving here. Can they be able to get through this first checkpoint comfortably? That's the first question here, Dark.
It's hard to say because there's no specials online as of yet. Well, Halley just got that Zuka online, but I think they need to make sure they save it for Vapor here to try and disrupt them. But no, Halley just eyeing to just keep the right side, the path in front of the tower cleared, ignoring the pressure from Vapor. And just like that, PSU Blue comes in on the right flank, completely washes the game here in mid, going down for a 1-for-1 trade at the very least, though. So it's not a complete loss for Halley, but PSU Blue just stalls out the fight there.
Yeah, for sure. PSU was able to stall out that fight here, causing the tower to reset here, and awesome, just going absolutely bonkers here lately in this set right here. That just being the person to contest Vapor of all people. Normally you think they'd be a little bit more contested here given the range of these guns here, but you can see Halley swapping the lead real quick here and trying to break through this next checkpoint here. This could be do or die here because as you see, oh no! 2 go down! Dork, what's happening?
Oh, PSU Blue, this was what I was mentioning earlier. You really need to be mindful as to what's happening in this game, because just like that, in a matter of instant, this game can flip, and now we're in 2-2 against Halley. PSU Blue. What a incoming push that was.
Oh, I need my friend, the resource. Oh, replay. Don't fail me now. Please, if there's a time that I could look at the replay and just analyze this one more time. Please. Oh, it's there, Dark. It's there. Tell me what happened.
It's just a matter of unfortunate picks from PSU Blue, and the big thing here was J Money with the Ultra Snap got shut down before they could get that snap going. If they were a bit quicker with that stamp pop off and was able to rush forward and maybe get 1 or even 2 on that tower, this would have been a completely different game. But because that stamp got shut down there, it just spelled the inevitable end of this push here, and it's just unfortunate to see because PSU Blue was looking very good. They took it down to 29 in the opening push here, but Halley just responded in such a way, in such a fashion that PSU Blue really couldn't do anything other than just sit and watch.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? Just talking a little bit more about like the individual members and how they do. And awesome. I saw you, bro. You crabbed out Vapor. You pushed Vapor into the bottom area on ship shape right there. And normally an Explo that's not on high ground is not an Explo you should fear. And that allowed the rest of the members of Halley to be able to push up here. And now a game 5 situation. It all comes down to this. A game of Clan Blitz on Umami. Who's gonna go home? Who's gonna take the gold? Take it away, Dark.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very contentious fight here. Clams, Umami Ruins isn't necessarily a map that's favored for one side or over the other, so it's really gonna be, once again, coming down to the micro, but there is still that lockup potential there, as we saw in the last game here, so it's gonna be both these two teams have to keep that in mind moving forward, but Halley 3 down out the game means that PSU Blue is on top of a wipeout. PSU Blue just roars in with this incoming push here, takes the power clam, gets another power clam into the basket, and now looking to try and potentially, if they play the cards right, close this game out here.
Yeah, for sure, but 2 down already, and you see a lot of front pressure being up here to hopefully shut down this Gal. The shot wins against the Gal. This has got to be a fake footage here already here, but you know what? That PSU Blue has consistently shown some of the most strongest openings here in every single one of these sets. Barely like that hammer right there. Brioche doing what they can right now to be able to push up slowly but surely here to secure space. But the question is that initial push enough? I don't think so, Dark. I feel like we're going to have a good back and forth here, given the history of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, everything's riding on the line here. Halley wanting to get that first place gold victory over PSU Blue, no less. They're looking to try and make sure they do whatever it takes to get that happen. With 3 down for PSU Blue, meaning that they have the opportunity here to score for the first time in this game here. And Awesome running in does get picked up, but the power plant, importantly, is opened up here. They're not going to be able to close the points and gas, but they do close the distance at least a little bit. 62 points remaining on their initial push here. It's not what PSU Blue had, but it's a very solid start.
For sure. I saw that end zap, and they were just like, I want to live! I want to live! Started running away, trying to do everything they can, but the PSU members move up so quickly, so fast, that NZAP got caught in the blue paint and is now being shut down, and now Halley is going to be the one a bit on the back foot here. I do see a crab coming out, splash down coming out, but PSU is going to be able to open the basket one more time here. V getting another crucial pick on And Awesome, usually the person that's able to contest Vapor, and now the basket's full of penalty, and we have a power clam coming in here. There's just too much here to count and crack him.
Oh, a huge swing for PSU Blue really extends the gap even further. 19 points remaining, depending on the penalty points. That's 2 power clams right then and there. Game, set, and match. So Arcali needs to make sure they do whatever it can so that they're not in that position again. And now it's a swing for both sides to try to get control over mid once again. But no, it's just a bit of a neutral game, a neutral stall fest. See who's going to be the first one to crack under pressure.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of pressure is being exerted with so many specials being picked out here, but PSU Blue somehow finds a way to survive those specials and push back into mid, putting Arc Halley on the back foot right now. So what can you do if you're Arc Halley here, Dart?
I genuinely, I think you had to make sure you have the proper resources to fight against Vapor, because we've seen what dealing with Vapor does for Arcali. It allows them the breathing room and the space and the momentum to actually get pushes going. But if you ignore Vapor, you're not going to be able to get any of these successful pushes here. And the thing is, PSU Blue knows that that's what they're doing. So PSU Blue is countering their own counter strategy here in this game 5. And now with 1 minute 30 seconds remaining, it's going to be a hard call to see if PSU Blue wants to try and close the going game out here, if they want to stall it out for the remainder of the time remaining.
That was such a good jump out there from Vapor, just barely living the Zuka, recognizing, hey, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna give him a mile. I'm only gonna give him an inch. But we do say Jade Money with the charge right here to go into the basket, pop the hammer to cause so much noise and distraction. Arc Halley does manage to be able to call it out here and getting up the pity. But the question is this gonna be enough? Is this gonna be the opening? There's so many questions going on in my mind. In the last minute, we'll have all the answers here, Dart.
Yeah, this last minute is going to decide everything for this game, for this set, for this qualifier number 3. PSU Blue down 2 players. Arcali using the crab tank to clear the space so they can get a pass to that power clam basket. And they managed to break it open. And there's going to be a good boost to try and get to close the gap for the lead. They only need 2 power clamps in order to do so, but they don't have the power clamps already. But the jump in does make it so there's only 3 points remaining. 30 seconds are remaining in this game. PSU Blue has a lot of ground to cover if they want to win this game.
They have an uphill battle here. 30 seconds remaining. You need a power clam in as probably another one if you want to knock this one out here, but there's not a lot of time remaining, and a lot of pressure is going to be exerted here from Arc Halley, especially with that Zuga coming out here from Zam. All the situations here. PSU is crumbling. 2 down, Dirk. Please just take the mic away from me.
10 seconds are remaining. PSU Blue has the power clamps to push this to overtime, but there's only be 30 additional seconds of overtime for them to be able to take this power clamp to the plant basket. But the Zuka shuts down that push, and in overtime, there's only J Money left, but he's no position to get that power clamp to the clamp basket. And I do believe Arcali in a checkmate scenario is going to take this game home and close it, crushing the dreams for PSU Blue. While Favorite picks up the power clamp in a last-ditch effort to potentially take this push going, but no, there's not enough time. Arcali wins his 3rd qualifier!
Oh my squid. Oh god. I'm speechless. If you told me today there would be a game 5, I wouldn't believe you. If you told me PSU Blue wouldn't come out on top or drop any games, I wouldn't believe you. But believing is just half of reality.
That was a glorious set and a glorious run from Arc Halley, staying alive throughout all these games, not letting the pressure, the momentum get to them. And now looking at the bracket, it's no surprise that they did as well as they did today. 0-2 against Drexel Dragons, 2-0 against Drexel Dragons, 2-0 against Cesaro, 2-0 against USF Gold, and now taking this game 3-2 over PSU Blue. They are now a huge standing in this circuit. They punched a lot of points in their favor, and they were able to play everything into their advantage against PSU Blue, who is known to be one of the strongest teams in and out of the CCA.
Yeah, for sure. PSU Blue, like, if you went to Riptide, you were there. Hang on, hold up. Yeah, you were there. Yeah, you saw a bunch of CCA teams just punch their ticket. Like, you saw Zeke House, you saw Drexel Dragons, right? Secure stuff like top 24, but PSU did the extra mile and secured, I believe, top 12 or top 16. I might need a fact checker for that because the lie detector's going. all. But you know,
I know
what?
they beat top 32 at least.
They did do a top 32 at least. You had some very strong collegiate teams right here. This is not the kiddie pool anymore, you know. As Sofa King once taught, and that's just a college team, man. That is a statement of the past right now. These are titans. These are players you should be taking extremely seriously, no less here in Division 1. And the storyline just wrote itself here, Dark. This is, for a lack of a better word here, apologies in advance if I sound cringe, but this is absolute cinema.
Yeah, no, PSU Blue, I love those guys to death. I love everything they do, and I always support them. And they're...
Vapor needs to be stopped. He has been stopped. The Android threat is safe.
It's so funny because Circuit Qualifier number 1, they lost to in second place. They got to second place because of Las Culturas getting first place in that qualifier. They took a break week and now they can come back here for qualifier number 3. They're thinking like, okay, Las Culturas aren't here. We have a chance to actually take this game, this our first victory here for this first split. But no, Halley doing a lot of work to counteract PSU Blue and able to take this game 3-2. Once again, PSU takes second in this third qualifier, and it's just I've been here at the CCA for quite some time now. So now I'm starting to get my traction of like following like exactly what these teams are, what they do, and a lot of their history, because I've been genuinely a part of a lot of this history, and it's such an exciting thing to see exactly how this plays out. And this keep in mind, folks, this is just week 3. We have another 3 weeks to go here after a 1-week break, mind you, but there's another 3 weeks and a last chance qualifier coming up for you. I love CCA.
I love the CCA too. Actually, wait a second. I'm a part of the CCA. Wait, hold on. I just admitted to self-love here. Is that a crime on the internet? I feel like that's a crime. It's all full of like the stuff that's bad, right? But the CCA is the sunshine of my career, I guess. Ice cream in the fridge, the bacon for all the things that cry out for hunger. If you get that reference, I love you, by the way.
That's crazy.
Okay, just CCA, as you said before, this is only the first 3 qualifiers just happened right now, okay? We secured our top 6 teams already right now. They already basically got the invite to see them at the end of the finals at the end of December right here as well. So now it's just a question of, after this break right here, there's going to be another arms race for seeing which teams can punch their ticket to be able to get to, the finals as well. And then the LCQ, which is going to be determining the last couple of teams out there as well, who is going to be participating, who will take home that crown right here as well. And I think this is just a circumstance. This is the best case scenario, Dark, from a spectator's point of view. Just seeing a team as good as PSU Blue had given not only a run for their money, but had their wallet stolen at the last minute and a half right there. I don't know. Just help. That's the only word. Like, as a good friend of mine would say, they'd say, help.
Oh man! How at the very least we have a 1-week break for not only for us on production and for me on commentator side, but for the players as well, to take a time to really reflect on this first split before we head to the second split in the next 3 weeks of gameplay. It's gonna be a bit of a break here for CCA all around, but that really was a glorious final set here to finish out this first split. And as a sort of update as to what's going on as well, over on the 3rd place bracket here for Division 1, we see that Reef Runners and USF Gold, there was a 3-0 victory in favor for Reef Runners. So our top 3 in Division 1 Qualifier 3 is Halley at number 1, PSU Blue at number 2, and Reef Runners at number 3. And it's such an amazing position to be, just to see all this unfold here and see exactly how this affects things moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. There is a lot on the line that is being created, and I don't know, Dark. I can yap here all day, but I think we've ended this storybook. You know, there was a script that got ripped and teared apart somehow, some way, by Arc Halley, who defied their own fates. They defied the Cedars' fate. They defied everyone's expectations and decided to come out swinging here, giving it everything they got against PSU Blue to secure first place here in this qualifier. Fairy tale ending there. Cinderella run. Is that the term, Cinderella run? Why is it called Cinderella run?
I want to know. Don't ask me. I don't follow the terms like that. But yes, I do agree with you, Neptune. That was a good ending to this first split, and I'm eager to see exactly what's coming up next. But there is another stream, in fact, happening over on the main channel here. I do believe it's Division 5 Grand Finals that's currently happening. So we should wrap things up so the folks can see that play out. So Neptune, anything you want to plug, add as we close things out?
Yeah, for sure. So you can find me at Neptune-TV over on Blue Sky. Too often. When I do, I usually give out some bangers, not gonna lie, or toot my horn. But yeah, you can also find me here, losing my mind here at production with the fellow commentators that are oh so wonderful. Thank you so much, Dark, for joining us. Where can the fine people find you?
You can find me on most social media website at SPF Dark, where I repost random nonsense from time to time, but more often than not, you'll most likely hear my voice time and time again, either here at CCA, IPL, under production, Dapple Productions, under pressure. I'm literally all over the map. But also on top of that, this is news for you, Neptune. Hot off the press over from the Gauntlet, we have just announced our new land over in North Carolina, folks. I know there's a lot of East Coast folks here in the CCA, and I'm sure there's folks here who are loving to hear that there's a North Carolina land, another land coming to you. So if you want more information on that, all over on Blue Sky and Twitter, the ad's going to be Don't Flounder SPL. Don't flounder SPL. That's the ad. There's gonna be more news dropping as in the incoming weeks, but keep your ear out for that. I'll be talking about it a lot, and some of my other teams will be talking about it a lot. So yeah, I'm very excited to be bringing this here on the CCA side, and I'm very much happy that it's finally off the ground.
Yeah, for sure. North Carolina getting their own land. Let's go! Oh my God, that's what I need to hear to make my day. You know, I'm out here just sitting at my desk, staring at 3 monitors, playing Splatoon, you know, like the person I am, right, existing in my own little shell. And now I hear this. Oh my goodness. Okay, and there's North Carolina teams there, so you might be able to pull some CCA teams as well. Don't ask me off the top of my head, though. I don't know the answer. But DRF, I will spread the word. I will be the Paul Revere of today, I guess, and get on that horse to tell DRF to tell the CCA folks over in North Carolina to go over there at that land. Let's go, Dark. Let's sign off here and just thank you so much all for watching. I will see you guys when I see you next time. Goodbye.